Hello out there in podcast land. Welcome to Beer League, where all roads lead to beer leagues. That's a little cliche we always say about the show because how people question us and go, hey, how can you guys do a show about youth sports called Beer League? Well, it doesn't matter what you play now, you always end up in Beer League. Even if you make it to the pros, you play Beer League softball. If you're playing baseball, if you play hockey, you play Beer League hockey. Basketball, you play Beer League basketball with you and your buddies. And if you play Beer League football, you got problems. I got to tell you right now, you don't want to be playing some house and Beer League football. You get hurt on that one. But anyway, we are in the Get Off My Lawn studios again. Hey, Greg, what's happening, brother?
How you doing? It's back to back, man. We got to get these locked in because summertime is coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big break here. We're gonna have a three-week break because someone's going to Greece. Look at me.
Yeah, hey man, I'm going to your homeland here.
I know. Tikanes, Kala, we talk of the Greece stuff.
Oh, shoot. I don't know what you said there, but I tried to get the translator out, you know, how to say, like, thank you, and it's like,
Efaristo.
Yeah,
no, it is. It's not Efaristo.
I'm like, merci. I don't know how to say all that stuff, man. So you may get some phone calls in the middle of the day, like if I'm in trouble.
I'll help you out. I may send you some curse words. You'd be all right then. You'd be like, next thing you know,
it's like, I don't know what he said. I'll say something else, man. But yeah, we're knocking them out here, and it's summertime, so
summertime.
We got to make the most of it.
Yeah, it's a little warm in here today. I don't think the air conditioner is working as well. I think the garage door's been up.
What is this, showtime?
It is showtime has been hot. That's for sure. That's for sure. The big fans that go around in there. Well, like what's his name said? He goes, open the doors, get some heat, get some air conditioning in here, right? You know. But anyway, it's not that hot in here. You hot?
Nah, it's good.
Hey, you hot over there, Sam?
I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, Sam's perfectly fine. Here we go.
You're just fired up, dude.
I am.
You were fired up on Friday. You're fired up today.
I am. I got some fire today.
I'm going to need like the bleep button today or something to bleep out people's names.
I did hurt my back, though, again. My back's been hurting me. That's what happens when you get older.
Degenerative disc disease.
Yeah, it's called I'm fat. Fat and old. That's what I am right there. You know, it's terrible.
I think you're doing fine.
Thanks, buddy. I know Ozempic does well for me. Oh,
you can eat through it. I've heard you can eat through it.
I eat some hot dogs. We did a hot dog. You see this weekend? I was mad. I was going to do one on Sunday because we were in a different park. I'm doing a hot dog review now, and that hot dog in Murfreesboro at Barfield Park.
$4.
I get $4, and it was an 8 on the scale.
All right.
It was a great hot dog.
That's kind of expensive for a hot dog.
It was.
Ballpark.
It was a big fatty. But then I went to the other one in Donaldson, and it was $3. So I was like, I don't know. You get what you get. Maybe it might be one of these terrible hot dogs. But I didn't do it because the game was running late, and I just wanted to go home.
That's what people want, man. On the socials, they just want to see you eating more hot dogs.
You know what?
Give the people what they want.
And you know what? We got about 4 weekends in a row. Then Destin. Because travel baseball is something that we're so into. Travel sports. That's why we're here, boys. Here we go. Well, anyway, so let's get back to our show here. We have a tremendous guest right now. A guest that is, he's a great man. He's a tremendous guy in the area here in Middle Tennessee, especially in Franklin. We have Wally Whidby here right now. Get the claps going.
All right.
There we go, Wally.
Love it. Love an ovation.
There it is. Wally right now is a great baseball coach. He coaches at Franklin High School varsity, but he's got a lot of stories and a lot of background on Wally here. So Wally, hey, thanks so much for coming on the show, buddy.
Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here. Just love to be a part of the sports scene and gotten to know you this year a lot better, and just honored to be sitting at the table with you guys.
That's an honor for us to sit here with you, you know. And I'd like you said, you just nailed something. I knew of you. I know I'd say hi to you a lot. You coached against me pretty much, and sometimes on the field.
Yep.
And we never really paths crossed. No one introduced you. Sorry, Matt Welke, you never introduced you, jerk. Matt was on our first show.
Yeah.
Matt, we're gonna have shout it because he's going to L.A. again. Sorry,
he's
dude.
going back out west.
He's going to L.A.
He's moving back?
No. He's doing this. He's doing his trip again. He's going to do some more movies and stuff like that. He still wants to do his last movie, a Sandlot type one.
Okay, we're going to be in the next one, right?
Yeah, I think we are.
Gotta have a cameo.
We gotta. Well, I'm in all of them, but I think we're
Yeah,
gonna
I didn't know that you were such an actor. You told me that the other day, and I was like, you know what? He's been killing it in these Adventure of Adventurers movies. He's like a semi-pro athlete.
He is, Matt.
A semi-pro actor.
He is. No, me?
Yeah,
No,
like you
not
could
me.
have done off-Broadway stuff.
Attica.
Kefis the thespian.
Who would have known, man?
Yeah, man, I did some acting
But
back in
that's
the
what
day.
I think we need to do some skits.
You want to do some
We'll
skits?
get you to do some skits, and we'll get Welker to kind of film them, and he does all kinds of magic with the cameras.
He does. He does a great job with that. He's in his little cubby. No, he doesn't come out for like weeks when he's editing a film.
Locked in.
A film.
He does. He's got like 17 films. One was really terrible. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm gonna throw it out there. Assassins was probably the worst movie. That one and Double Fisting Friends. And again, it's not an X-rated thing. It's just a really, really bad movie. I want my 35 minutes of my life back after I saw that one. It was terrible. Sorry, Darren. Sorry. It was just terrible.
I edited that one out of episode 1.
Yeah.
Well, he tried to bring like a video, like a VHS or something. He was giving me a hard time because I don't have a VHS tape
I think
player.
you should have took it out and just went like
Dude,
this.
I don't have a VCR. What are you talking about?
Reel to reel.
We can dig one up. We can find one.
We'll get one of them, like the old Stag films from him. That's the show. Matt, we're sorry we're digging on you, buddy. We love you. We would never do it.
He's
We
not
don't
gonna
love you.
listen.
You know, I actually had some time in the editing booth for a bit. When I was with a company called Double Y Productions, Gary Chapman and I, we co-produced a documentary for Big and Rich called The 8th of November. And
Really?
yeah.
Well, I did hear you did work for Big and Rich.
I did.
All right. So let's say, tell us your background, where you came from, where you're from, and where you are right now here at Franklin High School, varsity coach.
Yeah, man. So, born and raised in Franklin. I'm kind of one of the
You're a
4%ers
unicorn.
here.
There we go. Here we get the claps again. Look at that.
Yeah.
All these Yankees coming in.
Don't mind them, man. Honestly, like, it's one of those deals, like a lot of people get hung up on the name change at Franklin. You know, we were the Rebels when I was there, and right when I took over the program as head guy, we went to the Admirals, and all the old school Franklin people, they get upset, and they're like, oh, you know, I'll always be a Rebel. And I'm like, that's fine. You know, I graduated a Rebel. I coached the Admirals. I play for the city on my chest.
There you go.
That's all there is to it. And something special about being from around here, married a girl from here. My wife is actually the head coach at Franklin for softball.
I got that down. We're going to get to that one.
Yeah.
I mean, she holds the record for home runs, right, in her college? Is that
at UT Southern, formerly Martin Methodist. She had 17 dingers in a year.
Wow.
Played some shortstop. Still has a cannon.
She still plays softball too, right?
No, she chunked a meniscus. Or she
okay.
tore her meniscus and she chunked some cartilage out of her knee, so that kind of ended it. And plus, both of us, you know, we played a lot of slow pitch together, traveled around the world playing, and yeah, it's just Father Time is not kind to anyone, even hot blondes.
No. Tammy, you heard that too, because my wife is having a bad knee thing right now, and she wants to still run her 50 half marathons in every state.
Maybe that's what's causing it, Tammy.
Is anybody chasing her?
No, and that's why we should just have a dog chase her. You know,
Right.
just,
That's about the only way you're going to get me out of low gear these days. But yeah, played at Franklin. Was Williamson County Player of the Year in '95. This is back in the day when there was no Centennial or Ravenwood or Indy or any of those schools. But
So you've seen the growth.
Oh, absolutely. Our district was like, it was like junior college travel. It was like Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, Gallatin, Smyrna, Laverne, Beach, and Brentwood. So we used to make the tours back in the day, and a lot of good ball around here. But ended up had some D1 offers, and I was what they call an NCAA clearinghouse guy.
Okay, we'll elaborate on that one.
I like to fish a little bit. Didn't necessarily like going to my last 3 periods of school. And who knew that you had to have so many credits before you graduated, right? Like, you know, I was actually pretty smart. You know, made a 29 the first time I took the ACT my junior year. May or may not have been hungover. But
you got to add 3 more points.
There we go. That's it. It should be.
Yeah, I didn't even get to finish the science section. I was feeling a little queasy, but
Tell
you
me,
know,
did you puke?
no, they said if I puked, they were going to call the cops. And so,
Oh my God!
But that's my former life, right? I'm an ordained pastor now. So,
yes, I heard that too.
So I've worn many hats. I ended up at Motlow State, played down there, and this is when Motlow State has been in the bottom 2 or bottom 4 of the NJCAA or TJCAA the last few years. But we used to wear Walter State's heads out. I don't think we lost a home game the 2 years I was at Motlow.
Wow.
Won a lot of baseball games pitching there.
So you pitched?
Yeah.
Okay.
Left-handed.
Oh, boy.
I think the highest, I lit up a radar gun at 94, one game at MTSU. And went on from there, had some offers, D1 again, but I ended up going to University of North Alabama.
Okay.
They offered me and my center fielder, and so we went down there and played for Mike Lane, legendary coach. Won the Gulf South Conference in '99. The only team at UNA history to go to the World Series. So,
oh man,
got to play in the D2 World Series at Patterson Field. It's kind of cool. Started our season and ended our season. I did a preseason invitational, beat Eckerd College down there, and then ended up my last game I pitched against West Virginia State. First round, got a rain delay in the 4th, and this is all with. So I had a little injury that happened. I ruptured 2 discs my senior year in a preseason bullpen.
Oh my God!
But I still threw 109 innings.
Oh my God! 109 innings.
Yeah, went 10-3. We went to the World Series.
Lord.
Yeah, but yeah, it was fun. I had a good college experience. Was about this close to getting drafted, and then they found out about the back. Then I got pimped out by MLB a little bit. I got invited to every showcase, every tryout within 500 miles.
Really?
At the time I was living in Florence, Alabama, and
Well, you're a lefty too, throwing 94. They were salivating on
had
you.
5 pitches too. And so
Did you really?
Yeah, they would use me. I always wondered, what was going on, and I would pitch, and I'd come back and I'd pitch to this certain hitter and that certain hitter, and finally I'll never forget. I was in where was it? Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Afterwards, I went and had a drink at a bar with my roommate Chris Fears, who always used to drive me around. He ended up getting drafted by the Royals.
Oh, wow.
But Jack Jolly, an old White Sox scout, he said, "Whidby, come over here and let me buy you a drink." And so I sat down, and he's like, "Do you want to play professional baseball?" And I was like, "It's my dream." He said, he gave me a card. He's like, "Call these people, Ozark Mountain Ducks, independent league team." He's like, "Everybody knows you have a bad back." He's like, "You play a full season down there, then you'll get a shot." But I kind of ran that by my mom. She said, "Your dad, he died in '98. He died when I was playing in the Coastal Plains League out in Carolina." And she said, "Your dad wanted you to get a degree. That's the one thing that he wanted." And so hung up the spikes, ended up, graduating from UNA, moved back home, became a sports writer.
Really?
Franklin, the Williamson Herald is now the local paper here. It used to be the Review Appeal, and that was like everybody wanted to be in the Review Appeal.
Really?
And I was a sports writer for them, did some photography for them, and then went to the city paper after the Review Appeal, which was in Nashville, and then didn't really dig the scene there, and kind of did have you seen the movie Half Baked?
Oh, yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Fully.
So the scene whenever
Who's coming with me?
whoever the cholo was that was like, you're cool. I kind of did one of those and left the city paper and was freaking out, right? I was pulling out of the parking lot in Green Hills, and I was like, holy crap.
I don't have a job.
I'm unemployed. And then, again, this is a God thing. Like, I literally was pulling left onto Hillsborough Road out of Burton Hills. My phone rings, and it's Gary Chapman. And he's like, "Hey, buddy, I got your name from so-and-so. He thought you'd be a good fit to come help us out." And next thing you know, I worked for him for like 10 years. So,
Really? And that was in with Big and Rich?
that was first. I went on as like a farmhand kind of.
Oh, really?
It was like he had 2 properties that he was building a 13,000 foot square foot house, and then he had this one house on like Moran Road, and so I was kind of like managing the properties, and that's how it started. And then he had a Christian record label in his basement of his big house that he was building, and he was like, we would just get in conversations. I'd say something this and there, and he's like, "Man, hey, why do you know all this?" And I was like, "Well, I got a degree in this and this." And he was like, "Dude, why are you like cleaning my dog crap up?" And so it caveated into helping the record label, and then he opened the production company. We did like on-screen elements for Gretchen Wilson for her first tour, and we're with Big and Rich before either one of them were big or rich. John had just been let go of from Lone Star via email, and Kenny was ending his Lovejoy rock band, and they played at the Pub of Love quite a bit, and all of a sudden Mark Oswald discovers them and the rest is history. You know, chased them around for a little while.
Were you with 10 years? You with them?
With Gary, I was.
Okay.
With Big and Rich, it was kind of like here and there, just working with them.
Because Welker told me a story that his hotel that he worked in L.A., you know about this, right?
Yeah.
And they pulled up hitting the horns at like 3 in the morning or something like that. I don't know the full story. Were you there at that time?
No.
Okay,
No. That was on a West Coast leg that I was not a part of. But yeah, I heard that JR's bus horn kind of had a malfunction. That it just kept honking. But no, wasn't part of that. Saw some antics on the road, but like those guys were great, man. The sets were always good. The music was amazing. I was either carrying a camera, catching B-roll, or I'd go out in the crowd and you know, find cool people to hang out with after the show, or I would do some minor like road management type stuff. But they had a really good crew, so my role was just like, what needs to be done, you go do it. And if it was bouncing for John whenever he might have been in Yosemite Sam mode or whatever it was, you know, like I didn't care. I just was
you're hanging out with the boys.
Part of the scene. It was fun,
and you got paid to go enjoy the world.
Exactly.
You know, that's really cool.
So what'd you do with this November 8th or 8th of November
did a lot of the editing, did a lot of, you know, worked with the National Archives on pulling footage, shot some of the B-roll footage, helped tell the story. But yeah, Gary and I sat in the studio he had upstairs at his house, and man, spent many hours on Final Cut Pro pulling pieces together.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's a good song.
Yeah, it was a great song, good story. That guy is super cool. Niles Harris, he's out in Deadwood, South Dakota. It's about his story, right? They walked in on like 3,000 VC, and it was him and 29 dudes, and he got shot early in that. He laid on his back and just blew shotgun rounds up into the jungle for hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
and
that's
most
a true
of them
story.
died. 100%, yeah. 8th of November, 1965.
Wow. I know we're going to have a friend of mine that's going to be coming on the show here too, is Brian Bailey. And Brian, you follow us, I know that. And he was in Special Forces, and he calls his day up in Afghanistan. I think it's almost like July 17th or June 17th, his Alive Day. Something like that was happening, and he was there for hours just fighting them off, and people passed away around him, and he made it.
Yeah.
And he calls it his Alive Day. So we'll have him on the show. He's interesting with that.
That's awesome.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's cool that you've been with Big and Rich and all this stuff. So are you still playing any sort of baseball during this time? You still have the love of the game still in there, or what? What are we doing?
So I actually, when I was with the city paper, I was an assistant the year that Ravenwood opened. So I was with Scott Horde. I was the assistant coach. We had freshman and sophomore, and we actually finished 4th in the district with varsity with only freshman and sophomore that year. And then I went over to Brentwood.
And this is all high school too, right?
This is high school.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
okay.
And then I went to Brentwood High School the following year and coached with Nick Wagner for a year. I went to Franklin. Brentwood was our rival back then. Centennial is now, but Brentwood was the one, right? Like it was after Friday night football games, you were fighting, and you know,
it happens.
This is old school.
We'll meet you. We'll meet you over at the with Dairy Queen at that. I'm sure.
Don't do that, Sam. You would never do that.
Don't
at
do it,
Ensworth,
Sam.
right?
Ensworth. No,
Never
you guys
do
ain't doing
fight
that.
after
You just go up to the other guys and go, when you're a Jet, you're a Jet. Sorry, I'm showing my age.
That's all right. That's all right. He has no idea. It flew right by him. I caught it.
You caught it.
I
Thank
caught
you.
it. But I was coaching at Brentwood. It burnt my skin, but I love those boys. Still talk to a couple of them. Actually, ran into one that I coaching in Bethesda, Drew Smith, and he pulled me to the side and was like, wanted to tell you that like you had this big impact on my life, and that's why you do it, right? But after that, I got out of it for a while. I don't know if I was mad at baseball because of the way my career ended, and I needed a break, right?
Yeah, of course. Because
cleared my head.
Well, think about it. You're playing baseball every single day. You're working your tail off. You get hurt because of it. And you're like, wait a second. I could have had a chance of getting into the majors or getting a D1 scholarship or something. And then your back blows out. But then you're like, nope. Got it. My dad's dreams, his wishes is get my degree. So I'm going to, absolutely.
And then it's funny, like, so my shortstop when I was at UNA was Josh Willingham, who ended up having a really good career in the majors.
Yeah.
Played with the Twins, hit 2 grand slams, went yard off of Chapman, all kinds of stuff. But He was playing for the Albuquerque Isotopes. There's one of your names.
There you go. There's another name, Isotopes.
But he was playing AAA for them. I was covering the sounds for the city paper at the time. And after the game, I went and interviewed him. And he was telling his coach, he's like, dude, you need to go sign this dude right now. He's better than half of our relievers right now. So
he'll come and get any lefty out.
Anybody, really. Like Josh was just a really good dude, good hitter, but he was dead serious. He's like, go throw a pin for this guy. Like, we could use you. And I'm like, I've hung him up. I'm retired. I did try it for the Sounds, though.
Did you?
Unofficially, it was the summer when I was with the Review Appeal. Had nothing going on, trying to figure how do we fill space in the summer, right? Mm-hmm. And I just saw they had an open tryout for the Sounds. So I went with some of the high school guys, ended up strapping them on, and was the last pitcher that they let go. And the guy was like, do you really want to play? I was like, bro, I'm just out here to get a story.
Yeah.
But still, I was like high 80s.
Really?
Yeah, the slider was like, I don't know, it's like 82.
Okay.
Still dealing though.
That's I mean,
hidden spots.
That's fun. That's great. It's like the movie Rookie. Like, he's a high school coach. We walk out. He's got his baby. He's changing a baby in the I'll just come out and throw it. They're like, you know how hard you throw? He's like 97. What?
Yeah.
He goes, I'd be an idiot if I don't report 97 to my bosses. I mean, a lefty no less.
Yes, I was not throwing that hard, but was hitting spots, was getting outs. Like, I think I had one guy put one in play off of me in that whole tryout, and it was just a routine dribbler, but it was fun. I had a good time. It rekindled the spark, and then I used to call. It was funny. We're on beer league, right? I used to call slow pitch softball beer belly ball.
Exactly.
And my brother-in-law, he played it, and he was just like adamant, you need to come out and play with us. And he was playing for the sheriff's department. Mm-hmm. So he sends a squad car to my house. Guy knocks on the door, real nice guy, very stout black man. And he says, you Wally Whidby? I said, yes, sir. He said, you got a glove? I said, yes, sir. He said, go get it. I said, why? He said, you got two choices. You can get your glove and your cleats. You can ride in the front of my car and play with us a doubleheader out in Leapers Fork, or you can ride in the back and watch. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll get my glove.
I'll be right back.
First pitch I see, Seth, I'm not kidding you, I freaking hit over the fence. It hits the concession stand, and I was like, oh, hitting's fun. I forgot. Because I got PO'd when I went to college, and so...
PO'd? Oh, no.
The PO life.
The PO life.
It's a different life, but yeah, man, I hit that ball, and then from then on, like, I was every 3 nights a week, every weekend, started playing tournament ball.
Is that where you met your wife?
No, I actually met her. It is slow pitch related. My dad used to coach a women's slow pitch team back in the 80s when I was like the bat boy.
Really?
Her grandparents were the sponsors, and her grandmother and her mother played on the team. And she was a little, she was younger than me, right? And she was running around, but that's how we met. And then we got back in touch. She was obviously a stud in high school. Mm-hmm. I was covering Franklin High School for the Review Appeal. Obviously had to go check out Franklin softball, and she won't mind me telling you all this. I had interviewed her probably 5-6 times, and then after the interview's over one time, she just looks at me. She's like, "You're hot. We should hang out." And I was like, "What?"
Great. She came up to you. That's awesome.
I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "I mean, you're cute." I was this whole code of ethics thing.
I'm out cooking my coverage now. Let's go.
What's going on? I was like, I'm 25. I was like, how old are you? And she's like, I'm 18. I was like, oh. Yeah. I was like, technically legal. I was like,
you're good.
I was like, what do I do here? I was like, I tell you what. I was like, I agree. You're attractive, but I'm going to keep this professional. And then the day that she graduated, this is no crap. I was coaching an 18U travel team, Franklin Flash, practicing at Jim Warren Park on the big field. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden during my practice, all of my guys are up against the fence. And I'm like, guys, let's go. What are we doing? And I see this pretty blonde in some little bitty white cutoff shorts and a tank top. And they're all like, hey, who are you here to see? And she pointed at me. And they were all like, gosh. She's like, I told you when I graduated we're going to hang out. That's the first time we hung out.
That is awesome.
Crazy, yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah, then she goes off and plays college, so we had a few years apart, but then we did come back together playing in a co-ed softball tournament.
That's great.
Had dinner after and just talked, and then it wasn't a couple months later we decided we were going to give it a go, and that was it.
Ever since. That's beautiful. I love it. Man. I love hearing that stuff, man. Yeah. That's great. And she's now a coach of the softball team in Franklin, too. So that's kind of cool that you guys are there together. You're sharing the whole same squad area, and you go, all right, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, I'll see you after practice.
No, see you in the fall, basically, or see you in the summer. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
From our anniversary is April 13th. We never ever are together on our anniversary.
Oh my God.
Like it's always I'm here and she's there, but we typically do something early summer to celebrate our anniversary. So
that's cool.
It's cool, but she's all in. Like the reason I got back into coaching, right? First of all, I got an IT job at Franklin High School, and the admin at Franklin High School heard my story, heard my lineage, and then like I would show up in my office door, there'd be some kind of pullover hanging, and then this gear just keeps showing up, and I'm like, man, this is cool. I love this, right?
Yeah.
I love the swag, and then I hear my name.
Was your name on the back of the?
No.
Okay,
This is just swag.
All right.
And then all of a sudden, the loudspeaker I hear, Wally Whidby, we need you in the front office. And so I go down there, and it's Dr. Ruth, who is the athletic administrator, Jay Johnson, who's the AD, and John Whipple, who was the coach at the time. And they were like, hey, this is Coach Whipple. He's the baseball coach. Hey, this is Coach Whidby. Pretty good pitcher back in the day. And I guess that following season's when I jumped in with Whip. Yeah. And then next thing you know, COVID hits. And Whip had a break and decided he liked being called dad more than coach.
Okay.
And he resigned, and the rest is history.
So 2020, right? You took
21.
Over? 21, okay.
Yeah.
So 2000, wow, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. So that's it. Coach Whidby since that day, official
head skip at Franklin High School. Had some my first team was probably my most talented team that I had.
Really?
They didn't buy in though.
Well, you knew too at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd been around with the guys, but I was the pitching coach. Mm-hmm. You know, I kept on. Greg Manuel, who's the head coach at Summit now, he stayed on as assistant. We had the trust of the guys, but at the same time, it's one of the things you wanted to talk about was just the travel mentality.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of showcase players on that team that were really talented players, especially in a showcase team. But when you need a backside flare versus a 325-foot pop-up, so you can advance a runner with less than two, they took option B.
Well, that's another thing too. Like baseball has definitely changed now with all this travel, the way these guys hit. I mean, you've seen it since you played, and now what's this new era of baseball? How is it hard for you, almost old school, to teach some of these new kids trying to go back to old school and going? They're like, well, our velo, our showcase only care about how our velo and our launch angle and what's my rotation rate. You're like, wait a second, Greg Maddux probably wouldn't make it in the MLB if this is the case, right? I mean, how do you go about teaching that with these kids?
So first of all, you have to do your homework, and you have to respect the new school mentality. You have to respect the metrics and the different ideologies. But at the end of the day, I get across to my players that either they're going to buy into what the coaching staff, and it's not me. Mm-hmm. It's not just me in the way I want it. It's my entire coaching staff, the synergy we have and our mentality, and you're going to buy into it or you're not going to play. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you're the most talented player on the field. Either you're going to be able to do the job that we need you to do, or you're not going to play.
I love that.
End of the day. And the guys, so sometimes they buy in, sometimes they don't. That first year, like I said, uber talented team. I actually hired a new assistant coach this year who was a player on my first team. Mm-hmm. And he has said multiple times throughout the season, Whid, you were so right. If we would have just bought in and done this, we probably could have went to state that year. And, he said when he got to college, like his third year at King University, or second year, he realized it, that it clicked like, man, it's not about me and what I do well. It's about just being an overall good baseball player in all aspects of the game. And if you can do the fundamental things and execute the situational things as a team collectively, you're going to do well. My team this year was not the most talented team in Williamson County by any means, but it's probably my favorite team I've ever coached.
Really?
They just bought in. They worked extremely hard in the off season, and they were all about doing the right thing. And we ended up winning 20 games this year.
That's awesome.
That's a pretty good feat, especially with the caliber of baseball we played. We played.
A lot of small ball, huh?
Some.
Okay.
This team banged.
Really?
Oh,
okay.
God. Yeah, I think we hit 305 as a team this year.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Had some guys that, Aiden Pennington, for instance, he hit like 360 something, and I would say that a third of his hits were bunts.
Really?
He can flat go. Best, like everybody wanted to say Luke Thompson, that's playing at Tennessee football now, is the best athlete at Franklin. I'd put AP in the race.
Really?
With him, he can jump well. He's 6'4". He can run 21 miles an hour.
Jeez.
Had a hose. But when he actually bought in, he hated the comparison. But Guy Lipscomb played at Franklin. He was just released actually from the Indians or Guardians organization.
Okay.
But
It's Indians always.
always,
Yeah, always.
he hit 500, and half of his hits were probably bunts. It was
Really?
just because he got out of the box. He knew how to get the bunt down. But Aiden early in the year, I think he had like 8 hits almost in a row that were bunts, and it's just he bought into okay. It's not sexy, but I'm on first base.
Yeah.
And then he would be on second.
And then guess what? He's on third after that. Now, sack,
A gap,
go,
boom, done. Run scored, we win a game.
Well,
right?
I tell you, I've always. Have you had a lot of like people that buy in, the people that don't buy in when they do this, and you go, hey, you give them the bunt signal, and you're like, come on, man. Then when one person does that, guess what I do? You're benched.
Yeah,
Right
no.
after that.
If I see that negative energy,
Yeah.
if our guys, if we ask you to do something and you get very little effort, first thing you're going to do is you're going to hear it when you come back in the dugout.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to let it slide. It's not going to rest. It's like, hey man, you just let your team down because you chose yourself over the team, and that's there's no place for that. And that again did not have to deal with that very much at all this season. This was a team that whatever you needed them to do, they
I
were
love
in.
that. That's
Not,
great.
I mean, I didn't have a guy that threw over. Well, I had one that could maybe touch 90, but everybody, had to know how to pitch. And what you were saying about the velo, that's true. That's going to get you D1. But again, the old saying or whoever came up with it is nobody cares how hard you threw ball 4. That there's merit to that. I've got a sophomore, a rising junior right now that I'm really excited about that. Doesn't throw extremely hard right now, but he's almost 6'5". He's a lefty.
Wow.
His ball has a ton of life to it, and he's high 70s, low 80s right now. And somebody came up to him this last weekend because he had like 10 Ks, and they're like, man, if we could just get your velo to 88. And I love his dad looked at him and said, go away.
Yeah.
We are comfortable with his progression because
Yeah.
it was kind of like me, dude. My freshman year, I could maybe break a window if I hit it directly, right in the corner, that spot. But I was a thumber, But I could pitch. Greg Maddox was right-handed, but I studied him. I listened to him. I watched how he
Amazing.
manipulated the ball. I learned how to have like
A little
4 different
pressure
fastballs.
here, a little pressure there. Yeah.
When you're playing catch, it's not out there to. Everybody wants to talk about getting loose as going out there and just throwing to get your. No, it's manipulating the ball.
How to
I was
hold it.
specific.
Yeah.
Like you're wearing a Blue Jays shirt. I would be trying to hit that Canadian leaf on you every time I throw, and then I would swap and I'd try to hit not just the B. I would try to hit the bottom circle of the B. Right, like I got that dynamic and that specific with and that's what made me effective because I wasn't throwing hard. Then progressed the next year was high 70s. Junior year was 82, 83. Senior year was 85, 80, up to 87.
What got you to throwing to 87? What exercises? What'd you do? Was it more strength? Was it stretching? Or what are mechanics?
Honestly, it was just physical maturation. And then I did start a long toss program. I was lifting weights.
Okay.
But it was honestly like just the amount I was throwing, the focus I had when I was throwing. Because, again, it wasn't going out there and just throwing and having a conversation. I was out there to get something done.
Yeah.
And
That's what I say when you do tee work. Don't just get up there and swing. No, every swing means something. Try to hit inside the ball out. Try to just everything go to right center if you're a righty. Hit the seam. I always take the ball, put the ball there. That left seam, you want to hit the ball, that seam that way all the time. Don't just get up there and whack away and just try to, like every swing means something.
It matters. And it's and again, if you see guys that are setting up the tee middle, you're not getting middle.
No.
Like not at the high school level. Like probably 90% of the pitches are going to be outer third.
Yep.
So you got to hit those. One of the best interviews that I heard and one of the best hitters I've ever seen in high school baseball was Robert Hassel.
Oh, okay.
And Hassel had a mature approach at the plate that he knew that he was not going to see many strikes. So in his BP sessions, it wasn't about if it was a ball or a strike. It was, can I get my barrel on it? And so that was his approach, and he learned how to hit. And so he hit a lot of bad pitches very hard.
Yeah.
And that's
a great analogy. A lot of bad pitches, hard.
Yeah.
I love it because, like you said, no one's going to pitch to him. You know, I mean, really, thrown outside. I know a couple, and one of my buddies of mine, his kids played with Hassel too. He used to coach him on the Outlaws, I think it was, on the Outlaw team.
Yep.
He used to be on that team. I'll get you, Dave. You come on the show too. But yeah, I love the analogy of I don't care how hard you throw a ball for, because I've used that all year long. You know, especially in the middle school. And eventually it does go to the high school too. You play defense, you throw strikes, and you base run.
Yeah.
If you don't have that thumper, guess what? You're playing small ball.
Correct.
You have to play small ball. You have to play grit, almost like the St. Louis Cardinals used to do it back in the late '80s, early '90s.
Vince Coleman,
exactly.
and those
Tommy
guys.
Herr and those
Yeah.
guys. They not one guy, Jack Clark, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he was a bopper. Everybody else was, hit the ball, pass to the next guy, do your job.
That's it.
And again, we had a couple of guys that could leave the yard, but again, kind of like Hassel. So I had Crenshaw this year. Nobody was going to pitch to him.
Mm-hmm.
Kid had like 6 home runs through half the season, and then that was it. Like everybody stopped pitching to him, and
Do you ever grab the guy behind him going, guess what? You better take care of him.
yeah, it's on you.
Yeah,
But
it's on you now.
Elijah had that. He had a mature approach about him where he got to first base, and if he was catching, he would go gear up and have somebody run for him. And but we had a junior that's returning, Austin Lernerville. He was our cleanup hitter this year for most of the year, hit behind Crenshaw. There's a lot of pressure there.
Oh, yeah.
But he could thump a little bit. He's a little skinny guy, and he doesn't look like a thumper, but he could hit it.
Beauty.
But yeah, man, you got to evolve. So a lot of times you can't just have your approach to the game. Like you get a new squad every year.
Every
that has
team's different.
Strengths.
Every team is different. I get it. Maybe you got some speedsters. You're like, wow, I got some athletes. I got a great outfield now. Oh, this is perfect, Or if I have a big, slow first baseman, I'm like, oh, okay, well, guess what? We're going to make sure we throw everything inside here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who were some of your coaches your mentors growing up or right now that made you who you are right now as a coach? I always say my ex-coaches and all these people in my life were like fruit. They always go, what the hell do you mean by fruit? I said, oh, well, this one gave me vitamin C but lacked vitamin D, but that other coach gave me vitamin D. And I always wanted to be the best coach I could ever be, or even the best father or best person.
Right.
And I think coaching also helps out as if you're a good person, you're a good coach. And I say you're a good coach, you're a good person. It's just all hand in hand. If you're a real dude, tell the people, tell everyone the real deal, and they listen to you. Who were some of your mentors that were really, in your life?
So my dad obviously was like the one. He pushed me. He got me out of my comfort zone. He made me work. There were a lot of times that I would have much rather been, doing anything but throwing a baseball. But it would be Saturday morning. He would somehow talk another kid into meeting us over at Jim Warren, and I'd be throwing a pin. And so my dad was my first major influence in getting me, from somebody who was pretty good to elite. And then
Did you resent him when he kept doing that at the moment?
When I was young, maybe when I was 12, 13, but then when you're, end up going to Franklin High School and you're one of the rotation guys as a freshman, you look at your dad and you're like,
thanks.
I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you.
Yeah.
So, it took a minute, but it was worth it, right? And then I would say the most instrumental coach in my life would be Mark Pickle.
Okay.
He was the assistant coach my junior and senior year at Franklin. He is a legendary coach. He got the head job eventually at Franklin, and then he went to Columbia Central and just retired a couple years ago. Or actually, last year was Devin's first year, so he retired year before last. But played at MTSU, played at Motlow, was a catcher, and knew how to work with pitchers. Made me so much better, made me so much more confident. He really taught me a mentality when pitching, right? I had stuff, but I didn't necessarily know what to do with it at times. Well, he taught me what to look for and how to use it, and I give him a lot of credit.
That's awesome.
Played for Sam Melton, who he played in the Red Sox organization. And
Sam Melton? Name sounds familiar.
He's from Tullahoma, played at Columbia State and Auburn. Drafted, like I said, and played for the Red Sox. He actually, whenever the strike happened, I think he was one of the guys that crossed.
Okay. All right.
But he's got a kid. I think Brody's playing. I don't know where he played at Vol State, but he's still playing baseball, and he's got a son that's at Tullahoma now. It's a pretty talented kid, and his daughter actually just signed to play basketball at Memphis. So good athletes.
Yeah.
But he knew the game. Wasn't necessarily my favorite coach, but I got better under him. A lot of the things that he did not do well, like you're saying, are some of the things that I really try to do well with my players. And one of the main things that I tell the parents, the players, if you come into my program and you play for me for 4 years and you're only a better baseball player, I failed you. And I mean it when I say that. It's not a facade. It's like,
no, you're right.
I'm a youth pastor also, and I think that I had made baseball an idol. And I think that's ultimately why God had to take it away from me with the injury in college. And then he was able to eventually give me back my love for it and give me the opportunity at Franklin to minister to these kids. And then, this year almost ended my life.
Yeah, we'll get to that later on that. But it's so funny you do say that, because I do feel that the man upstairs puts us in certain positions. And as a coach, it's almost like, hey, you are a pastor, or you're here with these kids, even at the early ages of 7, 8, 9, 10. These kids look up to you, and guess what? You're such a memorable part in their lives. Even I remember every one of my coaches that I've ever had. The coaches that you've had over the years, and there's something that they all gave you, like the fruit part. Yeah. Even this, like you said, he wasn't my favorite, but I learned from him.
Right.
And you're right. The man upstairs has put you in certain positions to do this.
Well, that takes me back to the dad coach, the very beginning of that book. It's got Billy Graham, I think, and he says, a coach will make more difference in 1 year in a person's life than most people will make over their entire life.
Yes. Yeah. True statement.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
For better or for worse.
Yeah. 1,000. You have so many kids that I've known that, like, oh yeah, stop playing baseball. My coach is a jerk.
Yeah.
He'll always remember that.
Yep.
He'll always remember. And that's why if you're a good person and a good coach, the sky's the limit, and it's not because, and you just do the right thing, and I know certain people are, me personally, you get in this situation that you go, well, you don't agree with that, but okay, well, I have to agree with it, unfortunately. But it's certain things you're put in certain situations that it's almost contradiction, I guess, in a way. And in certain people, if they tell you have to do this and you have to do this, and that's why I'm like, you know what? I want to be the head coach. I want a head coach. I want to take care of this because I know what's right. Regardless, if we lose or win, I don't care if we lose or win. Doesn't matter to me. I've always said, be better than you were yesterday.
Right.
And then be better tomorrow than you are today.
Correct.
And I think I say that a lot. I do say it to every one of the kids on our team. It may go on deaf ears, it may not. Maybe later on in life they go, hey, well, Coach Keffers was right. He's not an idiot, But those are the things that you go, I can care less if you went 4 for 5. I don't care. You'll never remember. I don't remember. Do you remember your second game that you played in the tournament when you were 15 years old down in Tullahoma? No, but I remember that coach. I remember my buddies on the team. I remember every single one of those guys, So that, to me, meant I had a very good baseball life and sports life, That's why this youth sports thing is, and it's gotten to a point where it's so expensive now, and everyone's gotten their hands in it, and it's a moneymaker now.
It's monetized, right? Like, I was around when travel ball, air quote, began. And it was essentially, you had all-star teams, you had all these things, but the concept of travel ball was to take the guys that were elite, that were from a particular area, and to go somewhere and play against another place's elite baseball players. And then obviously, a few people here and there don't make this team, so they're like, man, we could be good too. And so you get a couple more going. But then the concept behind travel baseball, I don't think was ever meant to get to the point to where you have, the Raiders bronze or
the elite of the elites of the elite.
Yeah, third tier elite.
13 U, B, C, D team. Like, that's not what it's about. That's whenever I think it got monetized because, little Johnny's parents can stroke a check for $3,500 and he can play shortstop and bat leadoff, where that doesn't translate to the high school level. I don't care who you play for, where you batted in the order. I'm going to look and I'm going to evaluate you. I'm going to talk to every coach, and we're going to get together and we're going to say, where do you think this kid helps our team?
So here's one of the questions I had as far as the private ball, the travel ball, and then high school. It seems like in today's arms race, you've got to play the travel ball, whether you're the bronze or the silver or the elite, just to get to high school ball, right? The competition's pretty tough. But then once you're in high school ball, it's like, okay, well, but we're going to go this summer and we're going to go to showcases, right? So it's kind of like high school is a place where you want to get to, but is it a stepping stone? Or how do you deal with the travel ball coaches in the summer? And it used to be it's kind of there's a tension between them. You don't want people burning out their arms, but it seems like
I am seeing that a lot. That's for sure.
You see it, and here's one thing that I do is I at least have the conversation with my guys, and I'm like, this is what is healthy for your arm, and this is what is not. And in the summertime, you don't need to be out here throwing, your pin live in a game, because no kid is mature enough at 15 years old to go out and throw 65, 75% and just try to hit spots in a start against other hitters in a different uniform. And then coming back on Saturday, and then that's your start. That's the one that we're putting out on social media. So I tell the guys, and also be honest with them. If you're not feeling it, don't do it. But if it's done right, and lately I've not struggled that much with it, you have a relationship with these guys. You reach out to them. You should have a mutual respect for one another, because the player, it's all about the kids. It's not about you. It's not about your ego.
Beautiful. Say that again.
It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's not about your ego. It's about them. I threw my last pitch in 1999, and every opportunity I get to help a kid get to their next, whatever that goal is, right? I don't care if it's JUCO, NAIA, D3, whatever. I'm gonna call the coaches. I'm gonna email them, and I'm gonna do my best to prepare them for that level. But a lot of times you have to work with people. Where it gets hard is when little Johnny's got a pitching instructor, and that pitching instructor has this illusion that they are the expert on little Johnny, and little Johnny needs to adhere to this schedule during your season. Well, here's my thing. I think travel ball, you hit the nail on the head. If you're going to play at the high school level, eventually you're probably going to have to play travel ball, because you need the reps and you need the high quality reps, and that's where you're going to get them.
That's it.
But at the end of every season, I've watched travel ball seasons end. The last game, I've watched our seasons end, unfortunately, with an L the last few years because we haven't won the state. But I've seen kids weep and hug and just absolutely emotional at the end of a high school baseball season. I don't see that very much in travel ball. So it just kind of tells you there's
You're
something.
right. I again, I'm going to revert back to middle school. I cried like a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, because you put everything into it, and you're like, and the kids were. I had kids coming hysterical, and I'm like, oh my god, like, oh my, this was a fun time, and you're like, it's over. Like, I'm gonna get emotional right now thinking about it, because it was a very emotional, for the good and the bad and the ups and the downs and not knowing what was happening next, and a lot of pressure on myself. I beat myself up a lot. Like, I would go home going, did I play everyone enough? Seriously, my wife would be like, I would sit in the backyard by myself, drink a bourbon. I just need to be alone by myself. I had to calm myself and go, did I do the right thing? I would not sleep. I would go to bed at 1 o'clock, wake up at 3, just wide awake going, okay, what kind of progress do I got to do here? What game plan do I have to practice? What practice plan do I do? Did I play everybody enough? Who did I get? And you're right. And then I'm going to say eventually, I mean, I broke during that last game that we lost. And there was kids on the team broke, and every one of them gave me a hug, and I'm like, whoa, this was it. Like you said, it's a family. You're there see, the difference I think too is travel ball. Yeah, you're on your weekends. You're a weekend warrior. Let's be honest. You're a weekend warrior. Travel. You're playing all day. School ball, you're there every single day, in school, out of school, and then you go, it's over. And like you said, the weeping. You're like, wait, it's over, man. This sucks.
Yeah,
it's over, and the seniors are breaking more than anything, because they go, half these seniors, they're like, this is the last pitch I'm going to throw.
100%.
Until beer league.
Until you discover softball.
There it is.
Which is, yeah, man. There's something different about it, right? Like, and that's why it really burns me up whenever I'm going to leave baseball for a minute, but when you got, like, let's say a stud high school girls basketball player who 100% would help the team so much at the high school level and have a great experience doing and just being athletic, who doesn't play high school basketball because their club volleyball team said that you can't miss this practice and this time.
We see that AAA hockey. I mean, I don't think it's changed now, but it used to be AAA hockey. You can't play school hockey.
Nope.
You're like, what? Really? And
it's becoming pervasive except for football, really. I mean, you've got these dual tracks, right? And high school used to be the way that people got recruited into college, but now there's two ways to go, and you got one foot in high school ball, and maybe that's almost just for fun. It's a last stop for a lot of people, but I think there's a lot that can be learned from the high school coaches, particularly in baseball. And then they say you build the foundation of the player in high school and teach them all the core things, and then they get it and they buy into your system. They get to go out and get the exposure, and they get to go do the travel mercenary stuff where it's guys together on a team, but they're kind of out there for themselves, right? I mean, they're not going to remember those travel summers as much, but you kind of have to get into it. So how do you balance it for a kid who is 13, 12 years old that's doing some travel? What do you think that they could learn going into high school and trying to make the team? And then what should they take from that to the travel? Because it's two different games almost. It's really different.
Hey, my advice I give people, like you said, like travel ball, if you need the reps, right? The one thing about travel ball that is great is that you're getting to play a ton of baseball, you're getting a ton of reps, okay? And that's what you need to get better at anything, okay? I mean, especially if it's quality reps.
Even like a ninth grader or a 10th grader that's not getting the starts and not getting the playing time, go play travel ball.
100%. Like, go
practice with us.
This is what we need you to work on this summer. These are the things that you have a deficiency in. That's what we need you to go out and address right now, because you're going to get the reps, right? Your parents paid for them. You have to the baseball, in my opinion, it's still pure to me. Like, it has not changed. It is still the same game. I don't care who you're playing with and who you're playing for. Like I said, when I was getting started, travel ball was just kind of getting going. I was a lefty that I played with my buddies, right? I played with my buddies, and there used to be a league called the GNABA. It was Greater Nashville Area Baseball. Okay. And we would play against, Twitty City, and they had two teams, and then so like a bunch of different organizations had teams, and I played with my friends, the guys that I wanted to play with. But that would be during the week, and then if there was a big tournament, I would pick up with whoever the best team was going to the best tournament. And it felt a little guilty sometimes. Felt like I was hoeing myself out a little
exactly.
bit.
You're the martyr.
But at the same time, that's how I got exposure, right?
Yeah.
Like going in and playing with the best players and getting in front of the people and playing against the best competition. That's what travel ball is what it was intended for. Now it's kind of like, I get it that you want the better players that are a little bit better than rec league, playing against guys of similar skill set, playing for a bubblegum ring, like
a 4-cent ring. Look at me, I got a ring.
Throwing
Johnny.
a kid 120 pitches. That's not what
you were just lighting like questions of popping up in my head left and right, and just scenarios, like you said, 100 something pitches. We saw the first weekend, and I got to be honest with you, I was like kind of a little taken back. A kid that I know that pitched school ball, and he pitched 50 pitches on Thursday. And then they had travel, first weekend of travel, and he pitched 50 some odd pitches on Saturday. And then on Sunday, pitched another 50 some odd pitches. For the first week of travel baseball, and in middle I was like, whoa, what's going on here? I mean, it's because you want that ring. But yet you'll tell me that you don't want that ring, but you just did that because he was one of the better pitchers. That's something that I was always like, what are you doing? But one other question, too. I know back in the day, it was always school ball, getting recruited, high school. The college would contact you, talking to you. Hey, well, how about this kid, blah, blah, blah. How much is it now they'll go to you and go, well, what travel organization does he play for, too, so I can talk to that organization about this kid? And is it 50-50, or is it still more hey, listen, we see him on an everyday basis. They're going to take your word from it or accept what he did in the showcase or the travel team that he's played for.
It's these schools now are so evolved that they don't have to ask. They know
Really?
these kids. Most of these kids that are here's the deal: 3% of kids play college baseball. Even less percent play Division One. The Division One programs that call me, they have a very well-rounded. They want to hear my specific scenario. Yes, I spend probably the most time with them. They want to hear their work ethic. They want to hear their grades. They want to hear what kind of family they come from. They want to hear what kind of teammate they are. Then they want to hear the baseball stuff because they've seen that, right?
Yeah.
They can watch videos on Twitter and get an idea if somebody's fast twitch this or somebody's got, good hand speed or if somebody has great movement on them. They see that, right? They are evolved enough and good enough baseball people that when they call me, the conversations are typically what kind of kid is this?
Yeah.
How are the parents?
Is he getting in trouble a lot in school?
Yeah,
or,
is he a clown in the classroom or whatever? They go a little more in depth. And then, I had one drafted a couple years ago out of Tennessee when they were calling me in high school because they were looking at him to draft him in high school. Went even more in depth. That's what blew me away was whenever they were talking. Some of the questions that they asked, like it's like they were building a dossier on him. But
that was AJ.
Yeah. AJ was special. Kid's 6'6", and AJ was an amazing dude. That he was young. He graduated at 17, but he was so evolved. Like I would have people in a game. I remember his junior year. We're playing at Spring Hill. I had a parent come up to me like, "Is AJ hurt?" And I was like, "What do you mean is AJ hurt?" And they're like, "He's only like 85, 86." And I was like, I think it was like the fourth inning. I was like, "He's got 9 strikeouts." What do you mean is he hurt?
And the parents all got the gun now. He's doing the gun.
Oh, it was on the scoreboard.
Oh, it was? They did?
Every pitch was on the scoreboard.
At your high school, it was on the scoreboard too?
Not me. I don't do that.
I was going to say.
I'm not a velo guy, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a learn how to pitch,
Yeah.
and then is this appropriate? So when your balls drop out?
Yeah, you could say it.
When I went to Motlow State, the hardest pitch I ever threw in high school was probably 86, maybe 87. The fall at Motlow State, I started shaving. We're playing in a showcase at MTSU. We're playing against my catcher is playing for Vol State. I cut one loose, felt pretty good. I cut another one loose, get out of the inning. My brother-in-law came running over. He's like, "Holy crap, dude, you just hit 94." And this was on a ray gun. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I've never hit 90 in my life." He's like, "Dude, it was 92, 93, 94." And I was like, "Wow." I was like, "I guess I was just juiced up because it was my high school catcher, which, by the way, the second pitch I threw him, which was 93, he hit about 500 feet foul. So I was a little more location on that last one. But again, AJ,
I remember he said he calibrated it, right? He didn't throw harder just to throw harder.
No, he was that evolved as a high. That's what I told Tony Vitello. He came to watch him pitch at Columbia Central, and that's what I told V before the game. I was like, "Dude, don't look at his velo and let it tell the story." I was like, because AJ throws as hard as he needs to, and so that Spring Hill game, I was like, would it make you feel better if he went out there and hit 90? And they were like, I'm worried he's hurt. And I was like, AJ, let one rip this inning.
Yeah.
Just choose whichever one. Bang, 92. And it's like,
he's good.
He's fine. Yeah. And I told Tony
he's been a pitcher.
He wanted to pitch a complete game every time he went out. He knew that if he was going to go out there and be max effort, that he was, he would probably get through 5 innings, maybe. And by the way, that game at Columbia Central, he got so pissed at me because I pulled him. He had a no-hitter. But he got
pissed too.
He got to 90 pitches. And I was like, bro, I was like, it's a midweek non-district game.
Yeah. And you're already up by 7.
You're coming out.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm not going to put your arm in a stressful situation, and you're coming out. He's like, Whid. He's like, I got a no-no. I was like, bro, you're going to throw no-nos the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like you got a lot of baseball ahead of you. And so anyways.
I get it. I got to be honest with you. The gamer in you you're like,
I was the
seriously?
same dude.
You're like, but yet you got to protect them. And as a coach, you're there for safety.
Yeah.
Protect the kid. He's going to have, like you said, he's got many more of these to go. Yes, it's great. If it's the 8th inning, maybe push it to 100 pitches.
Oh, yeah.
But
he went over 100 a few times. And again, but it was like I was right there with him. I'm watching him. I am charting. I'm watching his legs, how he's staying in his legs. If I felt he had a stressful inning, might pull him then if we have a long sit, right? If we come and we bang one inning and he's sat down for a long time, coming out like
you don't want him to stiffen up.
But back in my day, there was no pitch count.
No,
none. So my junior year, I started one game, but I appeared in all but like 4 games. So if it was the second inning or the sixth, I was first out of the pen. And
it's so funny you say there's no pitch count. I threw 175 pitches one game, and I was like, "What the hell?" I looked back on the chart, 175 pitches. Yeah,
wow.
And I'm like, and I felt great because I was a catcher too, and growing up, and I always was, always threw, and I'm like, didn't care.
Yeah,
didn't care. Boom, boom, and 175 pitches. And I remember the coach coming up to me and going, "Yeah, I think you're done." I yelled at him. And I yelled at the shortstop because he's like, "Put me in." I'm like, "Don't you dare!" And he's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Sal Rosado, dude, you remember you?" He's like, "Put me in." I go, "Don't you open your mouth." I'm like, "I'm going with this."
and again, you got to know your guy, right? Like, I mean, I was a lefty. I just was rubber arm, right?
Yeah.
Like it's different. Again, the injuries that you're seeing now, to your credit and to your point, is. Dr. Andrews actually did a study on it, right? Very, very well-respected doctor, sports doctor.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
The
Down in
male
Birmingham.
UCL does not reach full maturity until like the age of 22 or 23. And so these kids that are throwing 90-plus on these little bitty frames and these non-developed muscular arms, you can learn, like I'll tell you the 2 words that scare me the most as a high school coach, velo program. Scares me to death. Wow. Because that is a cheat that oftentimes you teach your arm how to be faster, quicker to the zone, but you also are not teaching the right arm path a lot of times. And so, and then again, the physical maturity part of it. If you're going to throw, there are very few guys that are going to throw 100. And if you're going to throw 100, God made you that way. Mm-hmm. There's very little you can do independently to get there, right? Like you can, and do it for a long, sustainable amount of time.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'm not crazy. Again, the guys that chase velo, that's your ticket to D1, but they're also evolved enough at the D1 level to see a kid, to know their age range, to see their build, to see the frame, and say, he can put on 15
look at
pounds.
How big he's going to be.
He can put 15 pounds of muscle on. He starts shaving, and then boom, velo's there, right?
I also see a lot now, too, I mean, with the younger kids, the 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, this whole Little League elbow.
Oh, yeah.
This Little League elbow is a real deal. And, like, the shoulders and the elbows, because there's a lot of baseball these kids are playing. Unfortunately, my kid had that same issue this year. I think also it happens because he did play a lot of baseball. Mm-hmm. He threw a lot. And he's still growing. And I think more and more that these kids are growing at this age. Like, I've actually put a massive pitch count on him and just not doing that stuff. But when you pitch in this age, because your body is growing so much that your arms, and it's the growth plate issue. I had a kid on my team, Mikey Meatballs, we called him. I think you've probably seen him before. Mikey, little guy, lefty, little pitcher, throws a ton. I mean, heavy baseball, hard. And he was there this year in FBC, and his father's like, "No, he's not going to play, travel. We're just going to keep doing this. We'll get him there." And he's going to go to Ensworth, too. Good pitcher, really good pitcher. But he had surgery. It broke. His growth plate ripped away, and he has surgery because he threw so hard. He's in that growing stage, and what had happened is it ripped his elbow. It ripped the growth plate. Rajovic. Yeah, he's a great kid.
Yeah, and a lot of these kids now, they're specialty, right? They're baseball only. Like when I was growing up, it was what are you best at? What season is it?
What do you like to see as a second sport? Have you seen any patterns where if they play basketball or hockey or some other off-season sport, that they do pretty good? Have you noticed anything, or does it just depend on the kid?
It's literally an individual thing. I think that obviously I like the mentality of the football players. You get some toughness out of that. Some kids that can take a hit. Obviously, I get ulcers in the fall watching my players play football because don't get hurt. But I love watching them play football. Like Joseph Panea, little guy. Right, ran for I think he had 800 yards of total offense last year. He's small, right? But I love the mentality, right? I know he's the guy that, like, whatever you need him to do, he's going to do it. Like, if the situation calls for him to crowd the plate and wear a pitch because a guy, misses inside a lot, he'll do it, right? I like the football mentality. I also like the wrestling mentality, the individual competition
battle,
like that. They got that battle. If you don't have that battle in you, you're gonna suck at wrestling, right? And it'll be apparent immediately. Hockey, the toughness, right? Not a lot of dudes. I haven't had a lot that crossed between hockey and that, and then basketball. Yeah, the springiness, the twitchiness. That translates
the explosiveness
on the baseball field. So honestly, I'm just like it. My thing is, like, you want to be a part of a team and represent your school. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the guys that want to be a part of something bigger than me. And that's why I like the team sport guys, especially. But, the specialize in only baseball. And you've got to have a downtime.
Yeah.
Like,
because injuries are just because you keep using it. See, I love what you just said there, too, because, you have some coaches that were like, no, I want them to play other sports. But you need to be at my practice every single day. You're like, whoa, wait, well, which is it?
Can't have it both ways.
Exactly. So I see that's, I guess, some of the questions that we were asking, because our kids are going up into high school levels, and we see it now in middle school, like, hey, my kid started to play football. I'm like, dude, I was dead against playing football for him. But I'm like, if you want to play, because he's ready to play hockey. And it's hockey season. It's going to be hitting season for our boys here this year. Go get tough. Go get tough. Learn how to get hit.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, get your legs stronger. You're out there working out in summertime. I want you to work out. Now it's because you're starting to get to the nuts drop in the puberty time.
Yeah.
That's happening. So that's when your kid has the base of what he's going to grow in all the time. And, I always hear, oh, yeah, play other sports, and I'm great with that. But there are coaches out there that say that and go, yeah, but you need to be at my practice. Don't worry about your basketball. Don't worry about your soccer, or don't worry about football. You're a baseball player. You better be coming to my 2-a-days or whatever they're doing. I'm glad to hear that from you. And how do you deal with that? So if you're going to throw a practice, say fall practice, and you have 3/4 of your kids playing football, how does that work with you? And these other kids that, like, do you go, hey, man, to the one kid that plays baseball only, go, just go out and play basketball, man. I don't want to practice with you today.
No, that percentage will. I mean, again, the travel culture has absolutely ruined that. The multi-sport, you need to be playing another sport. Yep. But it gives me more time with those guys that aren't playing another sport. They get some individual looks, but let's be honest. In the fall, you're only allowed to work with 5 players.
Okay.
And then pitchers and catchers, right? The TSSAA did make an adjustment a couple last year where we did get 2 weeks. You have to declare in the fall, this is going to be our window, and we get 8 practices, right, with the full team. I can't say that a lot of high schools probably adhere to that, but I can tell you that at Franklin we were very clean about that. We were very intentional. Okay. But it's I'm telling my football guys, no, you can't. Like, a lot of them want to be down there. When they get out of football early, sometimes they want to come down there. And I'm like, bro, you're in football season.
Yeah.
Do I want you to throw on your own? Absolutely. Do I want you in Showtime or one of these other facilities around here getting swings? Absolutely. But you're in football season for Franklin High School. I'm not pulling you away from that. Yeah. Right? You need to focus on the sport that you're in. And then, the good ones, you don't have to tell them. Yeah. You do not have to tell them.
See, that's interesting you said that, too, because I like to do catching camps. Like, I want to do a catching camp with some of the kids that are coming around because, to me, as well as I do, what's the most important position? Yeah. Catching. And in your practices, who gets the least amount of work? Catchers, right?
No, not in mine.
Well, a lot of times they do because you always do an infield and this, and then that catcher is also playing an outfield position. He's doing that. To me, it's the most important. I want catches, and I used to have my other league teams. I wanted my catchers to show up 45 minutes early. So we do our drills to get together and do that. And then go ahead, now we do batting practices and that type of stuff. Because it's almost like a goalie in hockey that I just throw them in goal. No, they need that extra rep. They need this. As a catcher, you have to think the game. And I do notice a lot of, I had a conversation with someone today about it, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, baseball IQ. Let's just put it out there. Baseball IQ is gone. because kids don't watch baseball a full game. They don't go to a game. They don't see how the nuances of what's going on and people moving everywhere. It's, oh, that kid just hit a home run of 700 feet. This guy struck out 20 players. They didn't see everything. That's why I'm always big with the catchers. You got to get this back into the game of, you know, people ask me, they're like, well, who calls your games? I said, I allow my catchers to call the games. They're like, what do you mean? I allow my catchers to call the game. I'm here for assistance, guidance, to give them suggestions. Hey, that didn't work because this happened. So you learn the game as a catcher. And that, to me, that was always big with me. And you just said to me just now, oh, my catchers always get to work. What's the difference that you do in a practice with a catcher than normal with everyone else? And to get them back into the IQ of the game.
We have been extremely blessed at Franklin with really, really cerebral, high IQ catchers that honestly are almost our catching coaches. Now, I work with them a lot because, again, like Pickle was a catcher that worked with the pitchers. I'm a pitcher that works with the catchers, right? Because you know, that relationship, that battery that you form, there has to be that, you have to be on the same page and thinking together. But Carson Cochran, he was, so going back, the first thing that my biggest learning curve when I became the head skip was assuming that these kids know the game. They know the situation. And it was not until a couple years into my head coaching career that we as a coaching staff were like, okay, here's the deal. If we don't teach you something, I can't hold you accountable for it. But once we teach you, we actually have a interaction where, do you understand this? And they're yes or no, right? With my catchers, we've been extremely blessed. Like I said, Cochran's catching at Carson Newman now, probably one of the best defensive catchers I have ever seen. Undersized guy, moved very well. And my favorite catching coach in all of baseball right now is Tom Griffith at Carson Newman. Okay. He is the catching guy. Like, and again, Skylar Barnett at Milligan, also high on my list of guys that coach that position. And you go to a couple clinics that those guys speak at, you know, a lot of guys want to be tight-lipped with how they're prepping their guys because it gives them a competitive advantage. Bull crap. Yeah. You ask him. That's one thing about Coach Griffith is like, you ask, hey, can you send me those slides? Can you send me the drills that you're doing? 100%. He'll send you the whole deck like before you leave the building. Same thing with Skylar. And we as a staff, we kind of look at them and we look at the staff we have, the catching staff we have, and then we go. At Franklin right now, we're really deep at catching. Elijah Crenshaw was my catcher this year. He signed with UC San Diego. Very, very talented, high IQ kid. Beast, right? 6'4", runs like a 7 flat. Wow. Hits with a ton of pop. Like, they're going to love him at UC San Diego. But he also was big on the prep, right? So the catchers, he would get them there early while everybody else is out there throwing. My catchers are over in kind of the bullpen area. He's taking them through the different stretches, the different movements. They're doing their own dailies over there before everybody gets together and goes out on the field and starts working, right? And so we've been really, really. I've had a good run with catchers, right? Yeah. And Austin Leonardville, he'll step into the starting role next year. Has a cannon. His nickname is Slingin', and every now and then I'm like, holster that thing, bro, because if he sees a slight window at first base,
he's throwing back, right?
back pick.
Hey,
but he has evolved to where he's matured, and he's like, he knows the situation of the game, right? Like if there's a runner on first and he's the tying run and it's a tight window, you know, maybe I'll hold on to it. Mm-hmm. Especially like, or at third base, like, you know, I'm not going to sling it, or if I could throw it out in left field, right? Yeah. He's gotten there. My young catcher's really good. Heard through the grapevine, I'm getting a guy that played shortstop this year that's also a really good catcher.
Yep, he's a stud catcher from what I'm hearing too.
So and he will get the chance to work with some guys, but also, like, you know, he's young, right? Yeah. And the growth plates, the Osgood Slaughters, all those things. Like if he's adequate or really good in the infield, then I'm going to keep the stress off his knees as long as possible, but get him reps there also to continue to mature that, right? Yeah. So.
I got to tell you too. Another thing is, like, I grew up. We had, you know, our traditional catching. Everyone's up and your knees are beaten up. I mean, we had those knee savers, and I mean, they were what they were. But now with the new style of the knee down and everything, I was dead against it. When I first saw that, because I used to watch Yankee games with the whole time, and I'd see Gary Sanchez with the knee down. I'm like, look at this lazy bum. He's just lazy. But Gary Sanchez was tremendously lazy. But you see other guys, that athleticism with the knee down, to me, I've done so much research on it, and I teach it. I don't care which knee is down. You can do it. You can actually practice with it, and you keep doing it and working on it, and it's actually an easier way to throw people out, and it's easier to frame, to manipulate the strike zone, obviously, because we're going thumb down, going up through the zone, and it's easier to swim around, to come back around, and it takes a lot of stress off the knees. It really does, and I was like, wow, that was the biggest thing, because I could have a kid now catch a double header. I mean, yeah, it's hot, but guess what? They can do it with the knee down. Because back in the day, when you're up, man, you're like throwing up. You can keep the knee down, throw back the pitcher. You're good. Let's go. And now you can do that for 200 pitches and not get overly tired.
Yeah.
And I really pushed a lot with this knee down and did so much research because I was dead against it. And as you can see, when I was doing a lot with the middle school, I would make sure what you just said. You guys go over here. You're doing your catching drills. You're doing this. You're doing your stretching. But don't cheat yourself. You cheat yourself, I know you're not working.
Right.
I see kids that are working, and then I see kids that are just jerking around.
Going through the
and
motions.
I'm like, come on, dude. Listen, don't tell me. Don't cheat yourself. And I want to get, and I think I said to you, you being as a high school coach and me being as a middle school coach, I think the line to you was, what do you want to see these kids at you from me to get to that spot? And some people, they think the game's bigger than them. Well, this is this is what we're going to, no. And I so applaud you, what you said to me on it. You said to be an athlete. I'm looking for athletes. And I shot an email out to the other coach that, basically these two schools feed to the high school, never got a response. He's gone now. But I respect that. So what would you tell a middle school coach like myself right now in front of everyone? What would you want? What do you want from us to help you build your program and to get to the next level? Do you want me teaching catching? What style do you want? What kind of first baseman do you want? What kind of athletes do you want? What would you be looking for to help you build your program? Like you just said, you had these beasts of a catches. Someone got those catches before you, that their IQ got there. I want to keep that going. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep that going. I want kids to understand what the next level is going to be and how to prepare them to get to you.
So the main thing, I was just fundamental baseball, right? Again, baseball is a very pure game, and every single kid is equipped differently. And the best thing that I can say for what helps the high school coaches the most is teaching situational baseball, is teaching them, for catchers, how to block a baseball, right? How to anticipate and position themselves for releases, for runners, the catching the thumb down, the framing. It's honestly just teaching the basics of the game, letting them have a fundamental, whatever position they're playing, to understand every pitch they've got a responsibility. Every single pitch. There's no pitches off in baseball. I don't care, if you're in right field, a ground ball to first base, your butt better be moving to back it up, right? You better be ready for an overthrow.
Yep.
So that, our thing this year was we're going to steal every inch we could get, right? That was our mentality. It's like, hey man, some of these teams are way, way, way more talented than us, so we got to steal every inch we can get, and we're not going to give any away. And that was the deal. Was making sure everybody's in the right position, making sure they understand their positioning, making sure they understand what they're supposed to do when this happens, knowing the bunt defenses, the bunt coverages. Again, if you know what you're doing, you're going to be more confident doing it.
So there's some things I've seen online, like it's a book, right, to try to teach the kids IQ. You might not have time to go through all these things like we used to. Do you have any resources that you've seen actually work that kids can, because they want to play Fortnite, They want to play Among Us. The younger kids, they don't have the attention that we did in the 90s and 80s. So are there any tools that they can use to try to catch up with that baseball IQ that maybe they're not getting from just watching games like we did back in the analog days?
There are, technology is a monster, right? Is. Like there is so much that this device sitting right beside you and beside you, they can find so much good and so much bad.
Yes, they can
simultaneously. But all they have to do is like, okay, if a coach says you need to work on this, YouTube search working on this drill. And then again, they're not all going to work. A lot of them are gimmicky, but there are a couple of coaches that are around here that have developed an app that talks about situational baseball, and you can download. I can't remember the name of the app, but
I'd love to hear that because we put that on the website too.
Put it in the show notes. Ask him afterwards.
Absolutely. If you just text it to me if you find out, and let me know.
But he developed one that's specifically about situational baseball, like what every position should be doing on this play on this position, and it's out there. Like I don't have one that I'm more drawn to than the other, but I will say that, like, heck, I'm on social media, right? I'm on Facebook because I'm old.
Hey, I'm that too. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I'm seeing like these reels pop up, and because I love baseball, it'll be a drill, and if I like it, I save it.
Yep.
I didn't invent this game, right? I'm not going to claim that I'm this great X's and O's, teach you how to do everything thing. If I have a strength in this game, I'd say that my best aspect as a coach is I manage a game well. I manage the team well. I know situationally how to put pressure on teams. I can typically help my guys control their heart rate, which is one of the biggest things defensively that you can teach your team is to control your heart rate. If you can keep your heart rate down,
what are your tricks for that?
Breathing, knowing that you're prepared, like speaking life into them, and then saying, you've been here. You've played 1,000 games in your life. Why are we going to freak out now? You have practiced this so many freaking times. You're not going to throw any harder because you just downed a monster and you're going to chuck it as hard as you can. My Coach Lane at UNA did something with me that was probably the most effective thing I've ever seen. Is we were in a pen one day. He used to video us constantly, and this was your old tripod VHS. Like, he was out there filming us, but he also had a gun. And he was like, I want you to throw this pitch at 80%. I want you to throw your two-seam fastball at 80%. So I would do what I felt like was 80%. And then he's like, okay, I want you to throw your four-seam at 80% and hit this spot. And I would do that. And then he's like, all right, now I want you to freaking just max effort, fling it. And then I did that. And then, I want you to do, he had 7 pitches, specific scenarios he wanted me to do. And then he's like, all right, we got done. He's like, which one was your hardest pitch? And I was like, shh. Pitch number 4, dude. I cut that thing loose. It popped. It was great, And then he's like, actually, your four-seam fastball at 80% was your hardest pitch. It was 92. And I was like, what? I was like, no way. He's like, dude, showed me the video, showed me how I was completely relaxed. I was more focused on hitting my spot. My arm path was perfect. I just let it rip. He showed me my max effort one, right? Showed me my head was here, my neck, my veins were sticking out, my arm looked like I was trying to be Schwarzenegger.
The ball.
And he's like, dude, when you tense up, he's like, you can't get the whip that you want, you can't create the spin that you want, and it resonated with me, and from that point on, I pitched completely different. So it's kind of like,
you just told me without telling me really about what you need when you're as a coach, as a high school coach, because basically, you want kids to know the game, fundamentals of IQ, and that's perfect. That's exactly what I would like to keep doing, and the reps, and to just go over the fundamentals in every single day scenario. And again, you're coaching high school, and you basically you want to win. Let's go. We want to win. So there's always that line where we always say, are you there to develop these kids, or are you there to win? You got it both. They intertwine, but you want to win.
Yeah.
The development has to come when they get to you. Yeah. So everything, and you can just polish them off. And I think that's exactly what I love just now listening to you with that, is to get them to that point where you need to polish them. and because I see it now that is a lack of baseball IQ. They don't know what to do with the ball. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to throw a ball. They don't know how to take a ball from second base and throw it to second. It's just the little nuances of the game. Where's your cutoff man? Who are you cutting with? And people just look at each other and like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Because even to get to us, it came from a travel team or a rec ball that the travel team, all they care about is winning. And the rec ball, and again, nothing against both of us because we're both dad coaches. You know, you get that dad coach that wants to have his kid lead off, play center, bat lead off, pitch every game. You know, you're like, wait a second here. And that's what we're getting in the middle school of the daddy ball and also the travel coaches that let's get win and let's use this U-trip bat and hit 9,000 feet at a 200 field.
Yeah.
You know, pop-ups. They're pop-ups. They're not hit. You're not teaching the kid to hit. You're teaching them how to hit pop-ups. And when they get to the big field, it's F8, F9, F7. If that means it's fly out left field, fly out center field.
Especially in my yard.
Yeah.
We have a huge yard, right? We're a pitcher's ballpark, and if you touch one at my field, you have to touch it to get it out. And and again, it's just knowing your players. I love a project, right? Mm-hmm. I'll take a kid that has a couple tools that maybe doesn't have the baseball, because that if you're worth your weight in coaching, you will take the time.
Absolutely.
And you have the time, right? You have most of the fall. They can be one. You can choose your 5 guys you work with, and if you need to choose the same guy 5 days in a row, or we don't go 5 days in a row, but you do it. It's just.
See, that's good to know if it's 5, because that's what I would love to do now. I do want to do multiple catching camps with certain kids.
Pitchers and catchers you can work with as much as you want.
Really? Okay. So catchers you can, even at the middle school level?
I don't know the middle school rules, but I would assume that it's fairly similar to high school.
Okay.
It's one of the things I wish the TSSAA would do is allow us to have, a couple of fall scrimmages. I think we're the only sport where you don't have an out-of-season scrimmage. Like football plays 10 games in their whole season. Why do they get a spring game, right? Mm-hmm. We pay, we're allowed to have 30 regular season games. Why are we not allowed to have at least one in the fall? And for me, I would love for those kids that don't play multiple sports to be able to, hey, they're probably not going to start in the spring because little Johnny is a stud and he's playing football. I would love to get that kid some experience in the fall in a game against another team, right? Like, I don't understand why we can't do that, because it's not like it's not a protection thing, because they're all playing travel ball.
That's another thing too, travel ball. Are your kids allowed to play on the same team in travel ball, or is it? I heard there's a rule for 4 kids.
4.
It is only 4 kids on your team that can be on a travel ball team
together.
Is that all the way down, or is it just strictly high school?
Again, I'm not.
Okay.
I should probably school myself on the middle school rules a little better, but
okay.
I do know at the high school level it's 4, and then like if I'm coaching, I can only coach a certain amount of kids.
Yeah, you can't coach, right? You can't coach. So if someone else, like again, if you take another kid or team and there's multiple kids, so there's 4 kids on a travel team and someone else is coaching, it's fine. But if it's 7 or 8, you're like, it's against all.
Yeah, it shouldn't have. It does.
But
again,
who polices that?
Yeah, that's a whole other. Yeah,
hey, I saw you over there.
You never.
You're not a coach anymore.
When teams are going after each other, they look what happened in basketball this year in our kid's school. There was a kid that played rec ball or rec basketball, and he went
that
out.
Big confrontation.
Yeah,
that viral video.
But I think that's the. I don't think. I mean, I don't think it's any other sport. It was just basketball, right? I don't know. Again, all these rules. There's a lot of them.
It happens. And again, like we had a kid that we were looking at that played JV all year, and we were like, he's not going to start for us, but he could help us in a certain scenario in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that kid, unbeknownst to us, goes after the JV season, the last game he plays, that weekend he goes and he plays in a travel tournament. And so he comes back on Monday, and I'm like, all right, we're probably going to bring you up. And he's like, I kind of tweaked my ankle this weekend playing. I was like, you did what? He said, I played in a travel tournament this week. I was like, oh, your season's done. And he looked at me, he's like, what, coach? And I was like, yeah, man, you're done. I was like, You can't, when you are playing high school baseball, you are not allowed to play in another organization in baseball until it's done. Wow. And so, it cost him, his chance to come up and moonlight with the varsity as a freshman. But again, we try to run as clean of a program as we can. I mean, honestly,
does it happen? Yeah, it happens. I mean,
well, that goes to you don't want him to just be a better baseball player when you're done with him, right? Yeah. There's bigger things than baseball, and you get a chance to mold the kids. But I have a question. Yeah. We always talk about like the path to make it to the D1 or get your college scholarship, or maybe you're going D3, whatever. What about coach's path? That's something that's really interesting to me. Is there in baseball, sort of a traditional path, or is everybody's journey to being a coach different? Like if you were trying to go all the way, like to get into college ball as a coach, or to try to even go to the minors or majors, is there any actual path, or is it just different for everybody?
I think that it is different for everybody. I think that I've seen guys that I'm coaching against that I'm like, that is the most unathletic human I've ever seen in my life. Like, how are you? And they're running a really good program. And again, I think that baseball is that game where if you get that baseball IQ, if you study the game, if you're a student of the game, that you can get there, right? Like, to be a baseball coach, I think that you honestly really need to have that desire in your heart at some point in your career. I didn't really realize I wanted to coach probably until my senior year. We did a kids camp at UNA. We worked with the community kids, and the experience that I had with those local kids, like I was like, I could do this, right? Like, this is something I could wrap my head around doing this once I'm not playing anymore, because there is one certainty when you play a sport, and that is you will eventually stop playing competitively, but you can still be a part of the game. So in my opinion, the journey is individualized, right? Like, there's certain things that you can do, and you probably have a little better resume if you play D1 or whatever, but in my opinion, some of the greatest coaches that I've been around at the high school level, some of them played high school baseball and were not studs, but were students of the game, and they're able to teach it the correct way and translate, especially those guys that aren't athletic. If you're not athletic, you better be really good at what you're doing to get organized on the field.
Yeah. Organized, having good communication and everything. And that actually brings me to a thing. What was your biggest success story as a coach and your favorite moment as a coach?
Gosh, that's hard.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like a win or a loss, or just something that you just like, this is why I coach. This is it,
I think it's the amount of players that I've been able to be a part of their journey that they reach that goal, right? Like, it just, if their goal is playing college baseball, knowing that I did everything I could to open doors, to make phone calls, to make connections, and then seeing that come to fruition is probably the biggest thing for me. Like, AJ came here from Oregon right before his junior year. He was obviously the most talented guy, the most projectable guy on the field, and his journey and betting on himself had a lot of D1 offers, but he wanted a Power 5, right? And for him and his journey, getting him to Tennessee was awesome. The Knights organization had a big part in that. Kobe Ginsburg, he's the head coach at Hillwood, had some relationships that he was able to utilize. V saw it in person. And again, like, just talking to him and V told me after the game, he was like, you're right. Like, that kid has evolved. Mm-hmm. He's a 17-year-old that could have went out there and thrown 91, 92 and maybe made it through 4 innings. But because he knew how hard he needed to throw to blow it by people, he went, he had a no-hitter carrying it into the
Neo. He's stopping the bullets, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool to watch.
You slow it down.
But that's probably my biggest thing. This team, this 2026 team was one of my prouder moments. When I'll be honest with you, that when they came in as freshmen, not overly impressed. Mm-hmm. Like, it was like, you are Weisenheimers, and some of you have some baseball skill, but as a group, I didn't just look at them and be like, they're going to win 20 games, their senior year. But watching them evolve, watching them buy into. One thing I'll say about the Franklin baseball program is our off-season lifting program is elite. We have Crenshaw's dad. That's what he does for a living, and he like tailor-made, did the research on baseball specific weightlifting drills, flexibility drills, movement, how we could get bigger, faster, stronger, and the kids bought into it. Right? We use an app, and so the kids would have exactly, this app. Even when they're in ice apocalypse, right? Like the workout that they needed to do was on the app, and if they had the means to get it done, they got it done. Awesome. We had optional workouts during some of the breaks, and when you have 80% of your kids that are there when they could be eating Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, that's when you got a special group. And so this group was special in that way. And then obviously, it was a pretty traumatic season.
We're going to get to that actually very soon with that one. I know I want to finish with that at the end.
Yeah.
And that's something that we really need to talk about, and how traumatic it was and how everything came down to it. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, we always talk about being a school here. We had a very good discussion here last podcast about reclassification. We've noticed, and I've seen it already, and I know several kids already that will be left back or homeschooled, or and we'll get to the other one later. But let's hit reclassification right now. I've seen a lot of success stories, and I've also seen a lot of failures with this. What's going on now with this new reclass? I mean, I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me because my kid is at that age where kids are getting pulled back and held back just so they get the sports extra year. I mean, again, we've had this discussion. I'm okay with it when a kid can't, is fighting to get a C, and it's more of an academic thing than a sports. But for someone's getting B's and A's and they're holding back for sports, I kind of cringe at that. And I think we're in total agreement on that. What are you seeing more and more? Are you seeing older kids, older seniors in the sport of baseball? Because I know we see it a lot more in football.
For us, that's not been a thing.
Okay.
Against some teams we've played against, 100%. There's a couple of, this is a fact. I'm not picking on, but there's a couple private schools around here that I think lay a pretty heavy emphasis on maybe that. I remember my neighbor that lived across the street from me. His kid was a lefty, pretty talented. He's a 15-year-old kid, and two of the guys he's pitching against at one of these private schools are 19-6, right? 19 years, 6 months old. That's a man against a kid. Like, I don't know. I can't. Again, to each their own.
Yeah.
To me, I think that, there's research and there's data that supports if your birth date falls on this date, you should be in this grade. And I think that when it's a competitive advantage, and some people, they do it. Like the AJ graduated at 17, didn't turn 18 until midsummer.
So he's always battling. He's always battling ahead. And that's. We had a doctor that Greg at the doctor from Portland their kid played soccer. She wrote a nice letter about it, and she's still looking at more of the data on it too. And she really didn't have an opinion one way or the other on it. It's just something that we're seeing it more and more.
It's the arms race, right? So you may have some super seniors in some schools that they like that, and some coaches may be expecting it. I think with football, it's almost getting to where, for some people, if you want to be serious about it, you kind of got to do it to keep up with the Joneses. And especially when you talk about these COVID double reclasses, I mean, this might be your year. It's like if you get on the team back in the good old days of college football, and there was a quarterback that was a year above you, and you're like, man, that guy's a stud. I just don't have a chance. It's almost like almost all the people are doing that in certain realms. So they just kind of have to do it if they bet
play
on football. Yeah. It's tough, but it seems like football is really the leading one. It happens all over, but it's more prevalent with football.
Well, on top of that too, now is we're seeing almost like the NIL. That's the second part of this question. You're seeing more and more of these these kids, well, I'm not going to go to that school. I'm going to go to that high school because my team stinks and they're going to win states, and I want to be recognized. And if I stay here, I'm going to be one and done, and we're out of here. No one's looking at me. But then on the flip side, I had a father go like this to me, going, let him go. My kid will start next year. I don't care. Now you're getting reps. Now you're getting 4 years in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade.
You said NIL. You mean the high school transfer portal?
The high school transfer portal.
The transfer portal.
Yeah.
So, what are you seeing on that front?
The NIL was the first thing. That was in my opinion, at the high school level, it's supposed to be the purest form of sports and athletics, right? Like, I think that when you monetize anything, the purity of the game takes a hit. Collegiately, you're seeing it more and more. Yeah. Like these smaller schools that used to, do a really good job recruiting and developing players, are losing them to the big money schools now. And now that it has it officially opens, I guess, July 1 in Tennessee, as far as like the transfer portal or whatever, it's happening already.
How do you feel about that?
Dude, I am again, I'm a 4%er. I grew up in Franklin. I went to Franklin Junior High for like a week, and I discovered that they didn't have a baseball team, so I transferred to Grassland because they did. That I could not wait to put on the maroon and white. Like it was from a young age. Like, I was going to Franklin High School football games. I was going to basketball games. I was going to, hell, I was at the championship game when Franklin won its one state championship in basketball, right? Like, seeing Kevin Anglin and Jay Johnson like light up Big John Henderson was awesome. I couldn't wait to put on the maroon and white. And that's the culture that I'm trying to build now, to where, that's why we do the kids camps. And I really impress upon my guys, like, when we have these kid camps, it's not about you coming out here and going off to the side and throwing with your buddy. It's about investing in those kids. Like, we had our senior night this year. I had to miss it because I had an unfortunate kind of like relapse with my eye injury. But we had our GAA FBC night. And if you had a little kid with a uniform on, they got to take the field with our players. And that was the coolest thing. I got to see it on Game Changer from Vanderbilt Hospital. Wow. But watching those little dudes run out on the field with those guys, hearing the Game Changer live feed where they're talking about like that player, and I can't wait to see Jackson Ernest, and Jackson hits a double. They're like, that's my guy. That's awesome. Like, that's what it's about, right?
Yeah. Well, I wrote down your camp.
Yeah.
It's at the 15th and 16th, right?
Correct.
Of this month, in June. Now, anybody, because I know they put it out in FBC. They always put it in FBC because I know all these high schools that do it. Now, anybody can go to those camps? Can anybody from Grassland come over? Okay. So
anybody, rising second graders through fifth graders, we'll have a morning session for them that'll go from like 8 to 11. And then the sixth graders through rising ninth graders will be in the afternoon. I don't care where you're from. My first year as head, the head coach at Ravenwood, Nico, sent his kid to my camp. It's about the game.
You may have my kid go to your camp. I was talking on and I think, what is it, a Wednesday and a Thursday, is it, I think?
Oh, Monday, Tuesday.
Tuesday?
But I'm not sure. Yeah. I haven't looked at it.
I may do that and send them on over there, too. You're going to be there?
Yeah, of course.
Is your son going to go, too, or what?
Oh, yeah. All right. He'll be there.
Yep. Yeah, he'll have somebody who knows.
It's about the community. It's about, those kids that wear the high school varsity jerseys are legends to those kids. They look up to them, and I want them to embrace that and lean into it. And that's we're trying to generate that excitement of, I cannot wait to put on this uniform and run out on this field. And that's what it was about for me, right? Yeah. We were not the best team, but my brothers, I was going to win with them and I was going to lose with them. And that was what it was about to me. I kind of had an idea that regardless if we were successful as a team, that I was going to have an opportunity to play next level. So it was more about the relationships and playing for the maroon and white than it was putting me in a chance to win a state championship.
Well, you're also building the program from the ground up.
Yeah.
You're putting grassroots into it, and that's exactly what it should be done. You want the little kids to want to play high school baseball.
Right.
I mean, that's inevitable. I do see it like I think some people miss the boat in certain rec baseballs and even in travel. They're like, oh, well, we're travel because we're this, and this. We're all pride and whatever. But the bottom line is, we had a person on the show that does high school hockey, and a lot of kids play travel hockey, but you don't have that sense of pride to put your school uniform on. You don't have your teachers showing up to your game and travel. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But you're in class with these kids all day long. And guess what? Hey, we got a game tonight. Have pride. That's something that I always try to tell our kids too in middle school. See, that's right there. Have pride. Walk around your school and hey, you won. You had a pride. Be prideful being on this team. Show the community you're part of this, and like you said, build the grassroots.
Yeah.
Build the grassroots, and I love that. I love that. The love of that is the school pride. You can play travel hockey of the Nashville Flyers. It's prideful, but you'd rather put on the Franklin hockey team jersey on, and people show up, and they're punching the glass, and hey, this is high school. This is what it's about. This is where everybody can see you tomorrow. Nobody sees you after your third game in the tournament in Knoxville.
Right.
No one sees you, but they go to the game. Hey, you go to the game, hang out, and then if he does good or she does good, hey, there's that guy or that girl that's hey, she's really cute, or he's whatever.
Yeah, I hope they go to Sonic, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to go holler at
Next thing you know, these new kids with this phone and all this other stuff. I don't even know. My kid makes fun of me. He's like, Dad, you're an idiot. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. but it's so true how that works. It's like, have pride.
Yeah, and I just love the city of Franklin. Like, I do this now to give back to the kids. I do this now to try to help prepare them for hopefully not make some of the stupid mistakes like I did. Like, I make it very clear what the NCAA clearinghouse requires for you to play at the next level at Division I, so that they don't make that mistake. I also love watching just the future, right? Yes, my kid played for you, but how many varsity games did you see me at? And that he's not going to play it. He's not dressing varsity. How many games did you see me watching, the kids in our community play the game?
All the time you're there.
That's what it's about. Yeah. Like, it's about, being present. It's about just showing an investment that like, hey man, I'm pulling for you.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't go, my thing is this, right? Somebody, Rachel McElvain, very good last name in case you didn't know. Chris is playing in the Reds organization. Okay. Played at Summit High School. Evan just finished a great season. He's up for Stopper of the Year. He played at Arkansas this year.
Oh wow!
And then Ethan, the youngest one, he was the catcher at Nolensville. He's committed to Duke, and I pull for those kids, right?
Of course.
I've got a relationship with a lot of college coaches now that will call me about those kids, right? Mm-hmm. And I love it. I don't care that if they play for my rival school, if they're a good kid, they're a good player, they play the game the right way, like, I'm going to go to bat for them. And that's what it should be about.
Yeah.
That's what you talk about is like, look, you played for me for a minute and then you went to another team and then you see the kids when they're playing against you and it's like, no.
I don't know if you know, after every game that I coach kids from the other teams, I take a picture with them.
Yeah.
I sit there and I take a picture, my arms around them, and I can't wait to watch these kids grow. Like you just said, at the lower level, you're growing, you're there. I don't care. You pull for them. I want the success of everybody on that I've ever, had a dialogue or coached against or whoever. It's like almost like the love. It's a love of baseball. It's a love of game. It's a love of community. You want to see us succeed,
regardless if it's for me or for not. You mentioned the transfer portal. I want to coach the kids that want to play for our program. That, you know what, if you don't want to be there, if you're worried about winning a state championship with a stacking a team per se,
you can move to Knoxville.
To each their own. Well, I mean,
go to IMG Academy.
Science Hill.
Well, you look at, there's a team that has won the 4A state championship multiple years in a row, and I think the zoning rules in that particular county are, if you can drive to that school, then you can go to that school.
Wow.
Williams County does not have that.
Yeah.
And it's like we were saying, it's not easy to move around Williamson County like it was.
Oh God,
pre-COVID, man. Traffic. We're stuck.
Well, in Franklin especially.
It's awful.
You're not. I'm not getting a lot of people that are like AJ was a rarity, right? Like I'm not getting a lot of people that are coming in and getting a house in Franklin as much as they'd like to. Because let me tell you something, academically, you're not going to beat Franklin High School. As far as cultural, you're not going to beat it. We have a principal, our whole admin staff that loves that school, loves this community, loves those kids. They're going to make sure that every kid has the best experience they can have there. That's something that I can say just absolutely with 100% confidence, right? But yeah, dude, I've coached. All right, so here's a good example. I've got a family. She still teaches 8th grade at Grassland. They live in Fieldstone. Her oldest, he played, I think he graduated in like 12 or 13. The next one graduated in 19. The next one graduated in 22. And they still live in the same house. They're not moving because where are they going to go? Right?
Yeah.
You're not going to find a place. But so again, it comes in waves, right? And my goal is to create a culture that everyone wants to be a part of. Probably one of my favorite things about our program, and again, having my wife that's also there, is we do something in the fall called the Halloween Big Ball Tournament. And it's co-ed, and you take the baseball team, the softball team, and then I get like a staff team, and we compete in it. But it's Chicago style softball.
Oh, the big ball.
With the big
Yeah,
ball.
yep.
And everybody's got to be in a costume. We have great concessions. We have a
That
full-on
is
tournament.
awesome.
And then our lady that is our bookkeeper at the school, she runs fast pitch tournaments.
Okay.
And so she always gives me the coolest rings. Right, like just gives them to us, says give these to the winner of the tournament. And this year it was like an awesome neon spider and all this stuff.
That's so cool.
But that's something that, like, again,
And
we had a
they'll
lot
always remember it.
Yeah.
They'll always remember it. They'll remember the fun part, and what, and that's exactly what it is just do memorable stuff. Just has nothing to really do about everyday grind. Just have fun with it. I mean, like, it was really, really cool what the team did for me at the end of the year. Is they made baseball cards for me, and I love it. And I got to tell you, more than half of the kids, their favorite moment of Keffer's Coach Keffer's favorite moment is when I took a selfie on the mound.
Yeah.
I mean, I walked right up, and I was in the middle of a game. It was against Zach Hauser, and I go, and it was one of the kids, and he was all stressed out. I go, you know what we need? He goes, what? I go, selfie.
Yeah.
He goes, what?
Oh, jeez. Just like that wedding you went to.
You know what? That heart rate, I guarantee you, went from here.
And he pounded
to
the
here.
strike zone after boom, boom, boom. We're done. And that's exactly what it is. So you just, to make them have fun.
Knowing the kids, knowing what makes them go, knowing what makes them stop, just loving spending that time. You know what, parents, if you're listening to this, you might think your high school coach is an idiot and they don't care. They spend more time with your kids than they do their own. It takes the good ones. They're doing it for the right reasons. They should be helping you. Like I tell my parents at our parent meeting early in the year, whatever I need to walk beside you. If you need my help motivating them in the classroom, if you need me to have talks with them about girls, if you need me to have whatever the conversation is, like, I'm invested in your family's life, and I want to be there in every aspect. I promise you, I don't keep a player on my team and choose, I don't like that kid, so he's never going to play. That will never happen for me. It's not about me.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's right. There's the biggest
Barely,
line.
yeah.
Not about me. And that's something that it hits me in the heart on that one.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it. It's about, we're winning. me. No. There's no, absolutely not. And it kills me to see that. You're like, wait, no. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. I can care less if we win or lose. And you nailed it. One of the best things I used to do is with kids, I'm like, what'd you learn today in school? I learned why one of the kid on my team said to me, he goes, you know what? Elephants don't jump. Mike, you know what? I learned that.
Yes.
You know who you are. I didn't know that. I learned it now too. Elephants can't jump. But just something as little as that. And they're like, when you come to practice, like they're all stressed out. What'd you learn today in school? What? I'm like, yeah, what'd you learn? Oh, elephants can't jump. Bingo, let's go.
Hey, let's go.
And also too, I think always the best times was almost like free play. Because we practiced second. The JV practiced second, and the kids couldn't go home and come back. It was tough. But the best time, and they'll always remember, they'll remember the games. They could care less whatever record they were, but they remember hanging out before playing, wall ball.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. And it's fun. Those kids will always remember playing wall ball. Hey, remember we used to come here earlier and hung out? They could care less about practice.
Yeah.
They had fun, or they learned, but they had more fun doing wall ball and hanging out.
It's it's the little moments. It's forming the bonds. It's again creating the investment in each other. The best teams I've ever had play for each other, not with each other. And that's a real thing.
It's the locker room.
It is.
It's the locker room.
We don't have one yet. So
no, okay.
Anybody listening to this show, you want to make a nice donation to our program, we could really, really use a locker room.
Let's throw it over to Sam.
Yeah,
for
Sam's
question.
We
here.
always do this segment of the show now.
Yeah.
Now Sam is part of this. We do the Sam the intern questions here. So here you go, Sam. What do you got for Wally?
One question I had for you today was, so you said you're like a pastor. I was wondering how you take your faith in God into coaching high school kids at Franklin.
So the best thing that I can say with that question is obviously I work for a county school, so
public.
I cannot throw scripture, beat kids over the head with the Bible. The best thing I can do is live out my faith. We are made in the image of our Creator. And so the best way that we can show other people who he is and how he is to live like he did.
Well, I heard it said the best sermon is a good example.
That's it. I mean, a lot of people can talk, but it's how you live. It's how you. If I tell you I love you, I'm going to show you I love you. I'm not just. It's not words to me, and that is honest. I can look every player that I've ever coached in the eye, the ones that love me, the ones that hate me, and tell them I still love you. Like
I'm going to do a clap on that one because that's beautiful.
The results that you might not have had the career you wanted, but guess what, man? It's bigger than just you. It's bigger than just me. It's about the collective. God created us to serve others. Jesus was the most selfless person on earth, gave his life for us. And so, yeah, it's kind of leading by example. That's what we do. And we throw the word love around a lot. We want our players to know that we love them. Like, we're not just out here. Sometimes we got to love you hard, right? That's part of it, right? A lot of kids, they get mad at their parents, but guess what? Your parents aren't being mean to you because they want to be mean to you. They're being mean to you because they need to protect you from something, or they need to teach you something, and they want you to sustain something. And a lot of times, love is hard. But to answer your question, living out my faith.
This one is a little more on the fun side. If you were to pick one MLB manager in baseball that you represent the best, which one would it be?
Who, current or all
current.
time?
Current.
Ooh, that's tough.
Do both. Do all time.
Sure, all time as well.
Well, I kind of like Weiss right now. I mean, I'm an old school Braves fan. Like back when there were only 4 channels, we could watch Braves games. So, or the White Sox. You know, for some reason the Chicago network. You could watch the Cubs or the White Sox. In Tennessee, we could watch it. But no, I like Weiss. I like what he's done with the Braves roster. He's kind of put some pieces together, and it's really working right now, obviously. So I really like him. I like Lou Piniella a lot. I've actually got a couple autographed pictures of Lou Piniella in my office at Franklin. Dusty Baker, always a good one that I really liked him. So yeah, those are the guys that kind of stick out to me.
Yeah. Last one. What does it mean for you as a coach who, as you said, Seth, put grassroots into Franklin's baseball academy and just moving it up and improving it every year? What does it mean for you as a coach to see how your younger kids at Franklin look up to your seniors on the varsity team and try to improve their game with their leadership, with the varsity's leadership?
So the best teams that you will ever coach are player-led teams. Is the guys who are bought into a program and not just themselves. And that's how I knew this team. Like I said, we had a couple dudes, but we were not top to bottom the most talented team in our league. But I knew this team was going to be successful in the fall when our biggest prospect, our catcher, who was definitely going to be a D1 guy, grabbed the freshman and we're throwing BP to them on their own, working with them on framing, working with different guys on hitting. Like I was watching my seniors voluntarily grab our freshmen, get them in the cages, and go to work. That will fill you up with pride quicker than anything. Is you know that you got something special when, yes, they compete, but at the same time, everybody gets better throughout the process, right? Like if you take somebody who you know is scared, who's new to the program, who you know looks up to you, and you spend time with them, man, you got a ally for life. And that's something that's awesome to see, is when you see your upperclassmen. I call my freshman sophomore, I call my pups, right? When you see the dogs take the puppies and nurture them and feed them and grow them, you know that you're going to have some dogs eventually. So that's what I like to see.
Nice.
Love that.
Thank you.
All right, so now that is great questions, and I tell you what, I love that. I absolutely love that. I wrote a little note there too on that one. That is perfect because, like you said, it's your team. I'm just here to guide you. I'm just, hey, you go. This is your team. You go with it. And that's some of the stuff that I don't know if you ever had that conversation with your son. I used to tell everybody, this is your team. I'm just here.
Yeah.
You run this team. What do you want to do, boys? This is your game, And again, it was at a younger age, and they didn't understand it as much, but it will. It will. Hopefully, it does get down there. But I want to go to something that's really, really important here. What happened to you this year? This year was a very tragic accident that out there. If you guys are unaware, Wally had a little accident this year, and I would like Wally, if you're okay with talking about it during a game. So you go ahead, Wally. This is something very, very tragic.
So spring break, we're playing in the Grand Slam Classic, right? Every other year I take my team down to Gulf Shores, and this was our off year. So we were going to make sure that we got some work in, but I also wanted them to have spring break. So this is our last game. I'm looking forward to finishing the tournament strong. We got a lot better during that first 2 weeks of the season. I had planned to go to my lake house as soon as the game was over, right? So we are at Columbia Central, and they just got a brand new turf field. Dugouts are pretty close to home plate. I've been around this game forever, right? Over 40 years, and usually sit right in the edge at the front of the dugout so I can be close to my catcher. Now we have technology. We're allowed to have one-way communication. So we're having a lot of success. I think we're up 9-2 at this venture in the game. I'm calling pitches from the dugout. I let certain catchers, to your point, Seth, like Crenshaw, he works with the pitchers more than anybody, more than I do. So yeah, like I'm gonna trust him to call a game because he's proven it to me. He's earned my trust. If I really want to pitch, he's got the comms in his ear and I can call one, right? But in this instance, we had a sophomore, a JV catcher that we brought up to give both of those guys. It was a tournament, so they needed a break. So we brought a JV catcher up. So I'm in his ear. We have an 0-2 count against a really good hitter. His last at bat, he actually barreled a line drive right back at my pitcher, who somehow with ninja reflexes got a glove on it, but it still hit him in his wrist, and he was out, right? So this kid's, I'd say that the one he hit at my pitcher was probably about 100 exit velo. Oof. So we had an 0-2 count on him, and I'm like a chess game whenever I'm calling pitches, right? So I've seen his swing. I've seen what he hits hard. We have an 0-2 count. I tell my catcher, I want a two-seam fastball. I want it 6 inches off the plate, running away from him.
How do you tell them this?
Ours is called a quibbit. So he wears an earpiece, and I have a walkie-talkie, and it's me talking to him. He can't talk back. Cool. So I'm calling my pitch to my catcher, my sophomore catcher, and I'm like, I want you to set up like completely off the plate, no doubt in the mind where this pitch is supposed to go. Hopefully, he either waves at it, or we get him thinking. Maybe he gets more on top of the plate. I'm setting him up for a back foot slider. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm midway through the dugout. I'm behind the fence, but that comes up to maybe your chest. I'm locked in. I'm like looking right at my catcher to see if my guy hits his spot. I see the swing. I hear a crack, and then immediately it just, my ears were ringing. I knew that it hit me, and it was weird. My left eye, it literally exploded. I felt, I mean, it went black. Here's the cool part now, man of faith, wearing my I know a guy shirt.
I like that.
My ears are ringing, and then as audibly as I can hear you ask me the question about what happened, I heard, you're not going unconscious and you're not going to die like this. I heard that, right? And then that Philippians 4, peace beyond all understanding, hit me, and I turned back into me who uses humor. And I was like, all right, now somebody find my eyeball. You know, and you got guys on the bench in the dugout like, what? You know, and they're jumping up and they're looking. I'm squirting blood from my eye, from my nose, from my mouth. I was wearing glasses at the time. They're perfectly laying on the ground, and the left frame is just on the ground. Didn't shatter, but it lacerated me underneath the eye. I ended up getting 20 stitches underneath the eye. But yeah, I knew I was blind. Then my assistant coach is like, Skip, it's still in there. I was like, well, dude, I'm blind. Like, I whispered to him, I was like, I'm blind. He's like, no, you're just swollen shut. I was like, bro, no. I was like, I still have the hat that where you can see the explosion of the eyeball and the brim of the cap. But I ended up, you know, going to the dugout, went down on one knee. They call the trainer over. She brings her little bag over. She looks at me. She looks at her bag, and she's like, what? You know, what am I supposed to do with this? And then one of my parents runs to the concession stand. He's like, call 911. Like, call 911. They're like, what happened? They're like, doesn't matter. Call 911. Get a bus here now. Yeah. He comes and runs in. He's got a full roll of paper towels, and he's just like, dude, sit down. And because I was on one knee, and blood's going all over me. I sit down and just put it on me, and just kind of sat there, waited for the ambulance to get there. And, you know, they came pretty quickly. They got me up. I walked, and as I'm walking to the ambulance, the assistant coach for the other team falls out. He fainted.
Oh, shit.
So my guy, I'm answering all the questions.
He fainted from looking at your eye?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
So I'm in the ambulance, and my paramedic like looks at me. He's like, "Bro, do you mind if I go tend to him?" I was like, "I'm good, man. Just go ahead, right?" So I'm in the bus, and some other guy's talking to me. He's asking me all the questions that I'd already answered multiple times, and then my assistant coach comes in there. And by the way, my wife is in Gulf Shores with her team, and they, my assistant coach, much like you, young whippersnapper, tech savvy, he like knew to take my phone and like just at least hold it in front of me, and it did, even with all the blood and stuff. It unlocked it, so he was able to call my wife and kind of tell her what was going on. But she stayed. Like we talked, and I was like, you know, she's got a young assistant coach that was responsible for those girls 6.5 hours away from home. I have a really good support system here, and so she ended up staying, and ended up going to Williamson. And Williamson was like, we're going to scan your brain. But we have nothing. We got to get you to Vanderbilt, right? There's nothing we can do with your eye. And long story short, I end up at Vanderbilt. And my boss from work was with me the whole time.
That's great.
One of my assistant coaches, John Dippold, was there at the hospital. And then my assistant coach from last year, Logan Jarvis, he was there. And I convinced the staff at Vanderbilt that they were my brothers. And so they got to stay in there with me the whole time, and they literally sat with me until the next morning when the sun came up. My two sisters, they came and relieved them. So went into surgery about 24 hours later, and when I woke up, the surgeon, she came and she was just like, you know, we weren't able to do much. You know, we did what we could. We couldn't get to the back of the eye, and yeah, you're going to be blind. And I was like, okay. Sweet, can I go home now? So,
well, you were in great spirits when I saw you on the next day. Yeah, I was like, oh man, and you're like, here, look, oh, I don't need to see.
And then you fainted.
I fainted too.
Canvas is out.
I'm down. I'm twitching. I'm like, oh my god, like blood, no. But nah, I mean, again, you have faith.
Yeah.
That's
how were you able to get through that? I mean, you heard the Philippians, but what were you thinking? Like, I mean,
so honestly, like when I was 11, my dad was in the hospital. I was kind of like wrestling with I was like, I had faith, but I didn't know what to do with it. And so I went to the sanctuary at my church by myself. and was praying the best I knew how to pray at 11 years old. And again, I heard a voice at that point. I literally just heard, invite me in. And that's when I surrendered my life to Christ as my Lord and Savior. But to audibly hear the voice of the Lord, which is the only thing I can explain. People can tell me I had a TBI, I had a traumatic brain injury, and I just, my brain told me that. No, I heard audible words, and then this weird peace like swept over me, and it was just like I knew it was going to be okay. And did I have moments? Absolutely. The first time I actually got to talk to my wife, like, was when I was in the room at Vanderbilt. And she's calling me, and she's like, just, hey, babe, are you okay? And then I had a moment, and I started crying a little bit. And my boys were like, stop, dude, you're crying blood, dude. Like, no, we're not doing that. No. And I was like, no, all right, I got it.
They faded. No.
They didn't. No, they were rock steady, right? And then in the days following, like my wife they were winning. That's why she couldn't leave. They just kept winning. They ended up top 3 out of 40 teams down in Gulf Shores, which her program, she barely had enough players to play. And for all they had to go through to get there, like, I couldn't imagine her trying to leave that. And so she stayed with them, and they ended up top 3 in that tournament, which is amazing. And she gets home at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're talking, and I had to be back at the doctor the next day to kind of look at what they had done. Honestly, it's like I was loved on, and immediately, like, I can't tell you how many calls and texts and Facebook messages and all these things, like, people all over the United States were like reaching out as soon as they heard about it. And how can you be down about that, right? Yeah. Like, you got 2 choices. You can either like embrace it and use it as it's going to be part of my testimony, right? How you handle this is people are seeing this. People know what's going on, and you can either like lay in your bed and freak out and sulk, or you can get right back out there. And it kind of motivated me also when I was told by Workman's Comp that I'd only get 66% of my pay. So
I guess I got to go back to work.
Well, I mean, my eye surgeon at my second visit, she was like, "You can do whatever you feel like you can do, but don't lift over 10 pounds, don't bend over, don't do these things. But if you can go back to work," I was like, so that was Tuesday. I got hit. I went back to work Monday when school went back in session. And
well, one of the best stories he did tell me, he goes, he grabbed a baseball bat right after, and he started hitting. He said, I can still do it. So you did.
Yeah, so GAA had their opening celebration, and as soon as I kind of felt up to it, they had just finished the little kids' home run derby, and a couple of the girls from the softball team were hitting BP, and like one of my sophomores was out there, and I was like, throw me a couple, Parker. And so I the first couple was hard to get a touch on. And then as soon as I barreled one, it was like 5 in a row. I was like, bing, bing, bing. I was like, I think I bat flipped, and I was like,
I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, one eye, do better. And then I finally did have the perfect moment in the district tournament. We're losing to Ravenwood in the elimination game. We're down like 5-0. And we have runners on second and third. Tate Ballone's up. Tate absolutely blasts one, right? And at Nolensville, they had the old fence that they have a padded wall now, but behind it's got some black poles. Mm-hmm. The ball hits the black pole, goes down and hits the white, comes back in play. And the 3-man crew for the district tournament, they call time. Tate makes it to second. He went into his home run truck because it was bomb. Yeah. The Nolensville coaching staff is sitting in front of their little barn, and they're like, it's a home run, The crew comes together, and they're like, point to second base, make him stay at second. And so I'm like, I get my time to shine, right? Come on, it hit the black. It hit the black, then it hit the top of the wall. That's 2. If you look at NFHS rules, that's 2 instances of that's home run. Well, we couldn't see that. And then what are you looking at?
Oh, boy.
And guess what words come out of my mouth next? I got one eye and I can see that. Boom. Ravenwood parents, Franklin parents laughing, clapping, and then I go to the dugout. Luckily, it was one of the umpires I was yelling at. a guy I would consider a friend, so to speak. But I was like, you know, you get hit in the eye and you lose an eye, you get a little grace from umpires.
Yeah, I got to say, I don't know if you heard this story. When we had a game and we had an umpire that was hearing impaired, and he would ump from behind the pitcher's mound.
Okay.
So when the games happens, our batter gets hit, and all the parents are back there going, "Hey, he got hit! He got hit!" I said, "Time." I walk out to the umpire, and he's hearing me. I said, "Hey, hit him!" He goes, I didn't hear it. I'm deaf." I go, "That's right. Good game." And I turn around and walk, and parents are like, "He hit him!" I go, "He's deaf." They're like, "Oh, okay."
Not gonna win this one.
Yeah, I'm like, sometimes you just cut it off. You're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Listen, but that's funny that you said it, and you have a great attitude about it. Like you said, what good would it be to sulk?
Yeah.
And it shows the power of you to say, hey, you know what? It sucks. Unfortunately, we're dealt with these things. I'm going to be better than this, and people are going to go, you know what? He's awesome. He's awesome.
It's literally not about me. It's my community rallied around me. Before I even, 2 days into it, there was a freaking meal train for the next 2 months that there was at 5 o'clock every single day. There was going to be a meal put in our cooler so that my wife didn't have, because my wife is a rock star. She had to take on so much. You guys don't really know us, like our personal histories, but both of us have 3 jobs, right? We are constantly getting after it and doing everything we can to provide for our family. But some of the jobs that we do are not financial gain. It's about serving. And so putting something else on my wife was, this community rallied around that and was like, look, your food is going to be taken care of. I can't tell you how many gift cards we received. And then one of my parents on the team calls me and he's like, Wally, you probably don't want to hear this, and I know your answer is going to be no, but we're setting up a GoFundMe for you. And I was like, bro, we're not asking for a handout. He's like, this isn't a handout. People love you. Mm-hmm. You're about to run into a series of financial strains that you have no idea. And I can say they raised a pretty good amount of money, and we had to use every single bit of it to kind of just keep our heads above water. Yeah. This community showed up so big for us. And again, how can you be bitter? How can you be sad? How can you be dejected whenever you see the hands and feet of Christ in action right in front of you? And so that's kind of where I was with that, right? And
it's not over.
No, I finally got into. Can I talk? I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for talking about workman's comp care, but it's not been ideal.
Well, we got somebody who can look after that for you.
Good. How many appointments do you think that a guy who got hit in the face with a 100-mile-an-hour ball would go to? In 3 months, how many appointments do you think I've been to?
6.
I've been to 5 total, and 2 were in the first 72 hours, just with the eye surgeon, and then I've been to a facial doctor twice
at Vandy.
And my wife has been adamant. Some of the biggest struggle that I've had has not been with the eye; it's been with the concussion stuff. And I finally got in to see a neurologist today.
Really?
Yeah. And I've got a couple of tests that they want to run. They want to do a MRI on my brain and an EEG, and then I do. So this eye, they tried their best to save the globe. I went back to see my eye surgeon 2 weeks ago, and she was like, does it burn? I was like, all the time. It feels like somebody's holding a lighter to it. You get used to it, but it just sucks. Yeah. And I can't see it. And you're looking at me like it doesn't look normal.
I didn't even notice. Yeah. I mean, you said something about it, but I've forgotten. I had no idea.
If you look close, I don't even have a pupil. It's red, it's small. It's not holding pressure, right? And it's almost like a deflating basketball. So my eye surgeon did recommend that. So I'm meeting with an ocular surgeon.
So it will eventually deflate?
I don't know the answer to that question. Okay. She didn't, but we're not getting there. She's like, it's time. It's not working out. She, in her medical terms, she said I have an unorganized mess in my left eye. And so I'm meeting with somebody on the 22nd to discuss the process of getting it removed and getting a prosthetic. So that'll be cool. And me, in my mind, I'm going to have a tackle box that has different eyeballs.
Oh, you're terrible.
I'm gonna have a Terminator eye that I go to a plate meeting and I'm gonna click that laser and be like
see through walls.
Dare you to miss a call.
You know what?
Gotta have a baseball. Gotta have a baseball just for the irony of it. That's me in my mind, right? I'm gonna have a tackle box with different eyeballs that I can wear, but they are gonna actually bring an artist in that paints an exact duplicate of the good eye.
Really?
And it still moves, right? Like I
Okay.
can still move a little bit. They're going to detach the muscles and the optic nerve and attach it to this base they're going to put in.
Okay.
And then like in 4 to 8 weeks, I should have an eyeball. And then,
So it's not going to burn anymore? It won't hurt?
no,
Or just-
no. I've talked to some people that like tried to save their eye after like a BB gun injury or something like that. And then they said that like they literally wept after when they woke up from surgery because it didn't hurt anymore.
Oh, wow.
And so I will look forward to that relief. And then I have to have a facial surgery at some point when all of this heals up.
So
Because
you're broken orbital, right?
so the orbital is crushed completely all the way around, shattered. And I have some nerves that are going through that. So I have some weird feeling through my face a little bit. And then I have a break that goes all the way down from the bottom of my eye to about even with my mouth. But nothing broke off, nothing chipped, nothing inverted. So those are good. But my left side of my nose is completely crushed.
Oh.
So they're going to have to recreate my nasal passage at some point.
So you can only breathe out of one of your nose?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
I've never really like moved a ton of air through my nostrils, so they're gonna have to recreate the nasal passage at some point.
Wow.
So, but I mean that's coming. And again, bro, it's like I turned 50 November 8th, which is odd that I
there you go. Big and
produced a
rich.
documentary on my birthday or about my birthday, but by November 8th when I turn 50. It's my prayer that I'm done with all the surgeries and I'm back to some sense of myself and normalcy, and my energy levels are coming back. That was the biggest strain. Was like I would go a little bit and then I'd literally have to lay down in complete darkness because my head would be killing me, and it felt like gravity was like multiplied by 1,000. But that's kind of going away. I actually literally just took a week and went to the lake with my family. Had terrible weather. I think that was God like saying, you need to rest this week.
Yeah.
Because last week I took 17 students to centrifuge camp at Union University, and that's like 6 a.m. until midnight every day. And I had to sleep on an air mattress in the living room. So, but it was so awesome and so amazing. And I came back so energized after just seeing God move in that way, and seeing thousands of students just pour their hearts into the Lord. It was awesome. And so back to work today and like feeling good, and then back here with you guys like
thanks,
gives me
man, thanks.
another level of like
I love it.
I'm
I'm
stoked.
glad you came here. Yeah, and it's to tell your story and about this and just, I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect to listen to you about talking about baseball, about coaching, and unfortunately this incident. But you know, listen, God gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Yeah.
And I love that attitude of you and how you are, and you're just a breath of fresh air.
Well, thank you.
Breath of fresh air, Wally. And I'm really glad I got to even met you and known you a little bit more now.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit during baseball season, and I've always known you and everything, and it's even more so. And I will be. If we're not going away, my son will be at your camp here coming up. So and your other son will hang out with him too. They can all have fun together. And that's what, because I know I saw it. It's because he's still he's playing football now. Yay! And it's like a 12 to 3.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. To get him out of the house and get him out and do some things.
Get in and get some. We'll have some fun. We'll get some instruction in. We like the camp. We like to teach the kids the things that they can work on independently, right? Like the daily drills they can do on their own. I often tell stories that the best baseball players, the best work they get done is when nobody's looking.
Yep.
That those are the ones that are elite.
Yeah.
So try to prepare them in that way. We will teach different fundamental parts of the game, and then we're gonna have fun, right?
That's what it's about. It's fun.
It's about making this
Love
game.
the game,
make
man.
people
Love the
want
game.
to play it because, it's not the most fun game for some people to watch. Me, I'm a romantic. Like I'm watching every pitch. I'm watching somebody hit their spots. Not a big bat flip guy.
No.
Not a big double celly guy.
Well, exactly. What would you do if someone bat flips a home run on you as a pitcher? What would you do? What's
Back
the next
in my
pitch?
day, I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
It happened. Yeah. The next. So funny story. I pitched on Tuesday, and then this is in high school. We pull up to Marshall County, and Ty Curley's in the bullpen warming up for Marshall County. Big, strong, gas throwing. The guy who was supposed to pitch that day is like, "Oh, I don't feel good. My stomach hurts." And Pickle, who I told you is my favorite coach, he played in Marshall County. That's why we were playing them. So he's like, he comes up to me, he's like, bro, it's Thursday. Think you can go? I was like, hey, give me the ball.
Yeah.
So I go out there and I compete, right? Well, I hang a changeup and kid hits it out, and he didn't throw his or flip his bat, but he didn't leave the batter's box until it was way gone.
Yeah, so he walked and watched it.
So Pitt comes out and he's like, bro, do I have to tell you what to do? And I was like, absolutely not. And I missed the guy the next pitch. threw it behind him, and he's looking at the umpire, and the umpire's like, get back in the box. You can thank your third baseman for this. And so I got him. The next pitch I got ejected.
Good.
But crazy story. I show up to Motlow in the fall. Who do you think the first two cats at the dorm are that I walk into?
The kid you hit
The kid that hit the home run, and the kid I hit right after him. And then they were two of my best friends.
You said, hey, did he punch the kid after he hit the home run? Because I know I would have.
I'm pretty sure he gave him some words, but no, it was funny. It's just funny how Circle of Life works, man. And those were great teammates.
Well, I also love too, back in the day, and welcome, calling you out on this one. I know how you hate the unwritten rules of baseball, and it's like, why do you have to hit somebody? Like Matt, because you do. You don't. And
it's the code.
It's the code. If you're stealing with 10 runs and someone steals second base, guess what? Next one's getting plunked. And that's how it happens, And it's like you're stealing with 10 runs in the last inning, and you're stealing bases, or it's just those.
Anybody listening? I've never told a pitcher to hit anyone.
Me neither, but
they know
the unwritten rules.
They know.
The bat flip. I'm not a me guy, right? The double cellies drive me insane, right?
Yeah,
Dude,
my kid did one this weekend.
You should hit doubles like it shouldn't be a surprise. You shouldn't be like, hey, look at me. And I will tell you this. The funny thing is, after my eye injury and I finally returned to the team, the double celly for the Addies became, they cover their left eye and do the little, prom night. I get pictures of my boy. I was like, I want pictures. You guys all look good. And then, of course, there's going to be the one eye, covering the one eye pick. And but again,
that brings it together.
That was
family.
It's part of the team. Like, it was just part of it, man. But I had such a good staff, like Garvalone, who played for UCLA and played in the Angels organization, coached in the Angels organization, and coached at Innsworth with Max, by the way. Great coach. He stepped up and carried the program. They stepped in the gap for me. Mason Swartz, who was my new assistant this year. John Dippold was a volunteer assistant. He runs his own electrical business, which is why he stepped back to a volunteer role. Stepped up, was there every day. Like, there was not this downtime, because we had something special rolling, right? We had a little juice. We had played already like 5 of the top 10 teams in the state and competed.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like they just kept it rolling. And then I went and watched a game on the Friday night after it happened, like the following week. Just watched one from the stands. And then I think Saturday after we were playing Overton, I sat in the dugout, and wore my helmet and kind of stayed behind the screen. And then
you're almost like get gun shy now, huh?
No, not gun shy. Just be smart, right?
Yeah.
I have one eye left.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to wear protective eye covering most of the time. Like, I'm not right now, but like we're sitting in your garage, I feel pretty safe that nothing's gonna jump up and smoke me in the eye. But
Nothing.
But yeah,
Sam, be careful.
It took a minute, right? But I eased back in, and because we were playing so well, I didn't go back to third base. Like, Gar was doing a good job, and we got we were so in tune with how we like to coach the game that like I could just give him a look, and he knew what I wanted to do, and so it was cool.
Yeah, because I know again, it's amazing how you are right now, and it's just absolutely amazing what's going on, and how you're turning it into something positive. That's amazing. Yeah. So what we usually do too, we do it now. We get to a segment here on our show.
All right.
It's called "Get Off My Lawn."
Okay.
Because I'm an angry man. I'm an angry man.
Good thing we were not rolling prior to going on air, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is really tame. It usually happens after we turn off the
When
lights.
you
We
got
didn't even sit
you got
down.
a youth pastor in the room. Like I try to keep the vibe pretty chill,
He
right?
does. He's doing great. I got to tell you. I'm like, very nice, chill now. I'm like, this is great. But we do it. This segment called "Get Off My Lawn."
Yeah.
So basically, one thing we want to hang out, have a beer, have a coffee, a beer, whatever, and the other, get the hell off my lawn.
Right.
You get out of here. We don't want you right now. So the first question, and I ask you a question, and you can just tell me which one or the other and why. So the first question, what I'd say to you is, metal bats or wood bats?
Wow. For the purity of the game, I like a wood. I'll use AJ as an example. You know, his junior year, he didn't have the success he did his freshman year, but like the highest exit velo that he gave up was like 82. And with a wood bat, he's splintering people, right? Yeah. So yeah, I like the wood bat.
Do you get upset too to see these stupid bats? I hate these bats. I hate the U-trip bats. They're like Bam Bam bats.
Oh gosh!
You take a half swing, it's still going 400 feet. You know, I'm like, what's going on here? I mean, it's so stupid. It costs so much, and you got to have a BB core for high school. You got to have a U-trip bat for travel. You got to have a USA bat for rec ball. And if you play all three, you got to have 3 bats. And you see these kids walking around.
Almost hockey level equipment.
Oh, it's terrible. And they have put 7 bats in the backpack, and the kid walks and he's got the cleats on top. You're like, what are you doing? And don't forget the sliding mitt, and you got to have the shin thing.
You got to have the fajita server.
Oh, it's so stupid. The drip that we had an episode about the drip. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
It was 30 episodes ago.
It's not your rant yet.
No, it's not. Believe me, I'll get to that. Attaboy, Sam. It gets. See, you're getting me angry now, Sam.
Blood pressure engaged.
Exactly. So yeah, and the wood bats too. Now the wood bats are getting too damn expensive now too. I went to the store the other day. I go, oh, look at this maple. What? $199? And if I'm a pitcher, I'm going, oh, I'm going to split this thing in half. I'm like, you bust out a wood bat. I'm like, oh, you paid $199? 2-seam, broken bat.
It's on.
I was like, yes, this is great.
Yeah, one of my coolest experiences was I was playing that collegiate summer league in Carolina in the Coastal Plains, and I actually broke a bomb bat. Which you know anything about bomb bats? They have like the metal rods that run through them, and I sawed a guy off so bad that we broke one of those, and I was just like, yeah,
you want that? You want that
100%. I would love to have made it to a level where I had to pitch consistently to metal bats. My ERA would have been a hell of a lot lower.
Yeah, because these bats are half swing thing. You're like, come on, man.
Balls are juiced, bats are juiced. People are shaving these bats. You know, that's why when the kids play in the Little League World Series, you know, they give them bats when they get there, because if they pop the cap off of those bats, they'll say there have been a lathe run down them and they're shaved thin. As slow pitch is the worst at that. Like, really? Unbelievable. Shaved, rolled, altered bats is a thing.
Well, I always laugh at the slow pitch softball guys. Just like, let's see if I can hit this ball 9,000 feet. And they don't even run around the bases.
No, hit and sit, baby.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. All right, so you got wood bats. I'm for it, wood bats. I would love to see the little leagues go to wood bats, but again, it's a business. There's too much money.
I would love to see people make less money.
You think?
That would be cool.
I mean, would they make less money if you make a good product?
At $199,
if it
these
breaks,
hype fires,
you're gonna have to be replaced.
These hype fires are going
500,
450.
Yeah, these things, these double walls.
Oh,
come on.
I love the Bat Bros, man. I love watching them. Like, they're so entertaining.
I really wish they bring back the Black Magic and the Green Easton.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the bat.
They retrofitted one it was the silver and gray Easton.
Oh,
I mean, it looks the same, but it isn't made the same.
Yeah. All right, so we get the next question.
Yep.
College baseball or pro baseball?
Ooh. Is there a difference now?
Metal bats.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The game. Well, if you look at Kentucky, the way they play, that game's totally different from what a lot of these guys play.
Yeah. Honestly, like, it's getting watered down more and more, but I still love the purity of the collegiate game. Like in '99 when we lost in the World Series, and then the D1 World Series happened, and I'll never forget they were doing like a season recap, and that "Can You Take Me Higher" song from Creed, and I'm bawling, like watching TV, and I'm like, oh my God. But no, the college game is still cool. It's obviously great to watch the best of the best.
Yeah.
But there is still the purity of
wanting to get to the best.
Yeah, the team aspect of it, more of a small ball. You got your underdog mid majors, like the Murray State story last year was just incredible, and having a player.
The
on
fans
that team.
really get into it. I saw the Georgia fans were all doing that.
Oh yeah, and then their
Slow
closer turning around and like before the last pitch of a game and doing like there's the guy at second base. That was
I would say college just because Omaha. I love Omaha.
Electric.
I mean, that is such
we
a great
we got to do it on the
environment.
road there. We do. That's what we need to do.
dude. But what about the ladies, man? Like I watched almost every game of the Women's College World Series. It was, I mean, obviously I'm married to, somebody who's into it, but like you watch those girls get
Well,
after
the
it.
fun thing about that is like they're always singing in the dugout.
Yes.
Right? They're doing these chants and these taunts, and
Yep.
some of them are probably coded. You don't even know how mean they're really being.
Right?
It's nonstop.
Well, who won the college girls?
Texas ended up coming back and winning it again.
They did. Okay.
Yeah, they double dipped Tennessee. Tennessee beat them in the first round. They double dipped them, and then they played. Texas Tech, who White Chocolate's daughter
Yeah,
was on.
yeah, you saw that all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they beat Alabama. I saw
Yes.
that, and because as a girl, my daughter went to high school with that was played over here at Centennial.
Yeah.
Center fielder.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she was like when she was a freshman, she made a sick dive, and ESPN had her like number 2 on the plays of the day one time.
Lauren.
Yeah, I guess that's her. Yeah, she has a twin sister.
Her older sister Jenna was a stud at Alabama, and she's now I think the NIL coordinator at Vanderbilt.
Really?
Yeah, she's
okay.
super cool.
Yeah, my daughter knew. So all right, so we go with that. All right, so now we got another one here. Tim Corbin or Paul Manier, right? Is that his name? Manier? Manier.
Hey, how about Jack Leggett?
He could throw that one. I was going to say your boy from that used to be in Tennessee. Now he's in San Francisco.
Nah, Tony. I love Tony. Yeah. Great recruiter. Great culture guy. X's and O's maybe. I mean, he had very good teams. But Corbs is a legend.
Yeah.
Corbs is a purist. He's almost like Nick Saban. The whole NIL has muddied the water. He's a guy that could develop a player from their freshman year, watch them project their career, and see it come to fruition. Where now it's kind of not like that anymore. But they're all great, right?
Yeah.
What about Billy Berry at Tennessee Wesleyan?
I had Augie from.
Like, dude, if you could take his rants, then yeah, you were going to be a better baseball player. He is great. But again, another one, Leggett at Clemson, like he was one of the guys that would come, and if he's there to speak at a conference, they're paying him. He's not pulling punches. He's gonna he's here to help us coaches get better at what we do, and he would tell you exactly what he did, and I respected the crap out of that. But Corbs, man, his favorite thing I've ever heard him say was like, if you're asking a kid, hey man, what position do you play? The answer should be wherever you want, coach. I'm a ball player.
That's
like,
it.
That's such a good line.
It's great. I used to tell that to my kid. I said, anytime you go to school ball and they ask you what position, you go yes.
Yeah.
You know, he never really played any first base. I said, you're going to learn how to play first base next time. He's like, what, really? I said, yeah, go out and play first base. Okay. Then he played and he's like, I love it.
Yeah, play it all,
have
man.
fun, man.
Golly, I was left-handed. I didn't get that choice, you know.
Yeah, you can only play first, outfield.
First or outfield.
Yeah, that's it, and pitch.
Yeah, and absolutely pitch. There was a few times, like that's why I love slow pitch. Like I was an athlete, right? I'd play third, I'd play short. It didn't matter.
I got one more. DH or pinch hitter? Or a pitcher hitting.
Oh gosh, how
Well, you like to hit.
I did. Like that, my stock would have been, more valuable. Like Jack Caglione, Shohei Ohtani.
Man, that guy's crazy.
He's so good.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Was it sexy? Was it, people like to see runs scored. I get it. You got to market the game. You got to
Chicks
market
dig the
to
long ball, as
you
they
got to market
said.
to your audience. And then it also created there are dudes that are DHs that would never have had a career if it were not for that
National
position.
League forever. National
And
League.
I hate
let's
when
go.
they contemplate DHs as MVPs. That pisses me off. That should be a rant on mine. DHs as MVP. Listen, every year, back in the early 90s, Pudge Rodriguez should win it then.
Right.
Because last year they kept talking, Cal Raleigh, he's a catcher. Listen, Pudge Rodriguez saved thousands of runs. It's close to my rant. I'm getting there, but it's not it yet. But, you know what I'm
How many
saying?
rants you can have tonight?
I am telling you, I'm angry tonight. But Cal Raleigh, he had a 60 home run year. It's great, terrific. But, he was catching. Then if that's the case, if they said that, then Pudge Rodriguez batting .335 every damn year, Not to mention, he's one of the best defensive catchers that they were. He should have been the MVP 7 years in a row.
Yeah, Kirby Puckett, dudes like that, were elite at their position and also could swing it like that. It's hard to beat that, right?
Yeah.
The MVP is everybody's an MVP.
Shohei,
dude, you didn't ask me this question, but like, God, is Shohei the best of all time? Like,
I think so.
How could he not be? He's an elite. He's the best. Well, one of the best pitchers, and he's probably the best hitter. Like, what the heck?
He's a beast.
We haven't seen
he's
this
actually an alien.
Yeah,
he's from another dimension.
He's different.
All right. Go for it now. This is my rant. I had a couple rants today already, but this rant was brought to my attention this weekend. This weekend, we're at the tournaments, our travel tournaments. You know, again, these travel tournaments and what's going on, it kind of cringes me. It's almost a necessity of evil to do these things. But when you walk by to get to your field as a 13U and older, you have big fields, you walk by the smaller fields, right? Okay, first things first, having travel with coach pitch. That's really getting to me right now. Travel coach pitch, that can get to you. But top off the travel coach pitch is when that damn coach is dressed in full uniform with cleats. No, you do that when you get older in high school. You don't have a coach that's all dressed up in uniform, full uni, with cleats on, that he's part of that team when these kids are playing in the damn dirt out in the outfield. But yet he's got his cleats on and he's ready. He's all dressed up. He's got 73 number on his back. Everyone's got 1 to 15, but he's got 73. You know, and he's got his name on the back of that jersey because it's about him. You know, it's about him, as we talked about. But those guys with the 8U, the 10U, they don't dress. When you get to other leagues, I mean, when you have to do it with the Cal Ripken leagues and the tournaments, I get that. But not at this level. Not a perfect game. Not a game 7. Stop it. You're not impressing anybody. Don't do it. Don't you ever do it again. Just wear a hoodie, a jacket, and a baseball hat. That's my rant. I'm sorry.
Put me in, coach.
Exactly, right? That's my rant. There you go. So, other than that, hey, listen, well, I got to say thank you so much for coming out here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate everything. This is a great conversation here. Wanted to get you on the show. I told you during the year, we got to get you on the show here. And I thank you for that, your insight and your expertise in coaching. And I'm going to take a lot from what we just talked about to my personal coaching career too, and I enjoyed it. I always learn, especially reading those books, the Matheny Manifesto.
Oh, yeah.
Always read that. I used to tell my parents at games, I'm like, I'm not talking to you until you read that book. And then this dad coach, it's something to my heart too. I mean, I had a very difficult time coaching my son. As a dad coach, it was probably one of the hardest things, and our relationship kind of almost went to a different level. And I read that book, and it was a game changer for me. It really was, and especially during this time. And again, I got asked to be in this position. I didn't ask to do it, but I was asked, and I did it for him, and I did it for the kids that I know. And honestly, if I didn't do it, there's been no one else to do it.
Yeah, you hit a need that was definitely there, and you did a great job.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And again, thank you for the families and the kids. The kids were sponges, and I had such a great time. And like you said, I loved every single one of those kids.
Yeah, man.
And 23 of them was a lot.
For a JV middle school, that is a heck of a big roster.
Yeah. But here we do. We have a little gift for you here. A little gift for you. We got a little beer league hat.
Need a new lid for
there
sure.
There you go. And then we got a T-shirt for you.
Hopefully it's super fat.
Double 2X, right?
That'll work.
There you
That'll
go.
work.
2X. Yeah. It's that one, and I think we got a sticker in there. You can put it on the card there. Oh, and you got some koozies, baby. Always throwing business cards in there. So
Gotta have it.
Gotta have that. So there you go. So
Thank you,
again, thank you so much. It was a great time. Great.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam, thanks for coming out again, asking the questions. Sam, the intern here. We
Excellent,
love him.
Sam.
Sam's doing a great job. He wants to go to Syracuse here. He's a senior next year, so he wants to get himself into announcing and media and broadcasting, and I think he's on the way to becoming a superstar. We're going to see him on ESPN here, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
I was a broadcast journalism major. I'm right there with you, brother.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, keep Max in line for me.
There you go. Well, all right. Again, thanks again, everything. And please listen. you get a chance, follow us on TikTok, on the TikTok live, right? You got that thing over there, TikTok? I don't know. I'm old with this TikTok thing. Instagram. There you go. Yeah, help me out, Sam. I don't know. They don't make fun of me. They're like, let Sam go for that. There you go.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I guess you can follow Seth on that.
Yes, follow Seth on Facebook with all the old men.
Hey,
Spotify.
me and Wally got that.
I got it
Spotify
going.
too.
But you also got to leave a comment, right?
Yeah,
leave some comments. Let you know if you agree with Seth or me, or
if you just
think we're out of line.
You like my hair or something. I don't know. Just tell me. I'll ask you a question, or if you want to buy some merch, let us know. We're getting ready to sell some merch here. So this weekend we got a big weekend again at Perfect Game. Yay, more baseball around here. So we're going there. We'll be next to the merch tent in Perfect Game. So I'm gonna post the beer league tent right next to it, and I will be doing another hot dog interview. So I got to check out the hot dogs over in Perfect Game.
You're gonna interview a hot dog?
Yeah. No.
I will watch that.
I watch that. I'm gonna have someone dressed up in a hot dog outfit. Then there you go.
Maybe a coach pitch.
A coach? Oh God, no. Wearing a uniform. Well, again, thank you so much again, Wal. I appreciate everything. Amen, baby. Thank you for subscribe. There we go.
Like.
Yes.
Follow.
All right, Greg. Hey, Greg. Greg's going to be off about 20 weeks. He's going to go talk Greece here. He's going to Greece. And
you can check us out on TikTok, and you can follow the Democracy Tour, Athens to Philadelphia for the 250th 4th of July.
Yeah,
it's
man.
going to be a big time.
It will
Everybody
be.
Make sure you're watching.
All right, everybody. Again, out there, thank you in Podcast Land for tuning in. Beer League. Peace.